Hey guys, Nick here, and
Okay.
I'm Cassidy. I'm Cassidy.
I'm Katie.
alright, and this is our anniversary commentary for the Ultimate Edition of Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, and this is probably the most divisive film in the last 10 years, I can say. And the three of us here, we're all huge fans of the movie. So I want to get started asking you guys. So what was your guys' first experience seeing the movie, and just your overall thoughts on it? So Katie, you can go ahead and start if you want.
Honestly, it was the only one that I really cared about after Man of Steel, so I was just going to go watch that, and then after that I didn't really care much about the DC Universe. That changed very quickly. But, so my husband couldn't go see it until after the weekend. He was working, and so I was waiting for him, and then I think Monday I cracked, and I went to see it by myself at a matinee. Shh, don't tell anybody. So I was sitting there in the theater almost by myself, and I don't know, it was kind of a mind-blowing experience, and it just kind of, I don't know, you walk out of the theater and I'm like, nothing's ever going to be the same again. And
Yeah,
I'm so glad we're coming back to see this tomorrow. So then, my husband and I went back again, and I'm like, oh, look, what a beautiful movie, right, honey? And so, yeah. And after that, it's just all over, because I loved Man of Steel, but
Same.
This one just brings it even more, and it's perfect.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And Cassidy, you can go ahead.
Well, for me, I loved Man of Steel. I was the only person I knew who did. So when I heard this movie was coming out, I originally had mixed feelings, because at the time I was a bit of a Marvel stan.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, how could they compare to the Avengers?
Uh-huh.
But eventually, at some point, I changed my mind. One of the trailers did it. I'm not sure which one. But I went in and I was blown away with just the visuals, the lessons, the characterization. It's like, yeah, the Avengers got nothing on this.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what's funny? For me, for the longest time, I can say I love the Marvel movies and the DC movies fairly equally. But for me, it was after watching Age of Ultron that I started noticing all the problems that Marvel has. And
Yeah,
I'm just
same for me.
Yeah, so I'm just
Sorry,
okay, give me something new here. And then it was more the repetitive, quippy jokes and lack of female character development, or lack of female characters in general, and all this other stuff. So I'm like, okay, DC's still just starting, so I got that to look forward to. And then the Comic-Con trailer for Batman vs Superman dropped, and to this day, it's my favorite
I remember that
trailer
one.
ever. You know what sucks? I was at Comic-Con that day. I was at the DC.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I was at the DC booth where the cast was just coming from Hall H, and they're just about. It was literally minutes before they dropped the trailer, and because I got my tickets the night before because I bought them off from someone, and I had to work the next day, so I could only be there for 6 hours at the most, and it was getting closer for me to have to leave, and the cast was minutes away from being there, and I'm like, damn, I have to leave, and I end up leaving. Literally within 5 minutes, the cast shows up, and then they drop the trailer. So, yeah.
I just remember screaming a lot. I don't usually do that, but my best friend was coming over that day, and I kind of screamed my way to the door, and I opened it, and she's like, "Oh, so I see you heard about the trailer." And it was like, it's just so different. It was so, that whole Comic-Con trailer really encapsulated what the film was going to be about, and
Same,
it got
yeah.
me really excited, because I was like, holy cow, this is totally different, and I am excited. I had so much depth to it.
And to me too, especially the shot that really did it for me, that just seeing Robin's suit with the
Yeah.
Joker tagging
Yes.
on it, well, I mean, it sucks that they didn't actually delve into it in the movie, but even then, just seeing that there's already so much history in this world that I couldn't wait to see what they had to offer. And the only problems I had with the theatrical cut were just some of the jarring editing, but other than that, I had no real problems with it.
Same here.
I saw the movie.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yep, I was fine with that too. It was like, it's a movie, I was perfectly happy with it. And,
Yeah,
but
another
then
time I
we
would
got
say-
the Ultimate
yeah.
Edition, and I was like, okay, I'll take more.
Yeah.
More is good. More is better. So.
Yeah. So for me, I saw the movie a few days early, because through one of the local news channels here for the CW or something, they offered screening passes, and I ended up winning some. And I'm at the time I'm like, oh my god, I get to see my favorite movies of all time early, and I was so excited.
Awesome.
And then I saw it. And at the time, I would say I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I still liked the Man of Steel more at the time. But then I kept seeing the movie again. I ended up seeing the movie 8 times in its initial theatrical run. So
that was me too. I think I lost count after 9.
Yeah, and for me, it was just like every time I saw the movie, I found something different, like little
Yes.
details. And that's the thing about Zack Snyder movies. That I think it's just like every time I watch them, there's always something a little more to it that you can find with each viewing, and you can't really get that with most films, especially with Marvel films. You know?
No, many things you start to really analyze them and pull them apart, which I love to do, and dissecting things and checking out stuff, and it starts to fall apart because it's there, and it's a story, but it's just, I don't know, there's just not that much depth to it. And you're right, this one, my gosh, we are still dissecting this thing. We're still unpacking this thing.
Literally,
there's
a year
still
later,
people like, oh look what we just noticed, and it's like, holy crap, another one? You got to be kidding me, Zach. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, and a lot of depth put into it, and that just makes it so much better for me.
Yeah, and that's why for me it's hard. Like when people just say, like when people just don't see, like they only see it as at face value, or, like, especially for the people who don't like it. It's like you guys are missing out on so much more if you guys can just like take the time to. I mean, if you don't like the movie, you don't like the movie, and that's fine, whatever. But so, I feel like people are missing out on so much because like they aren't like. I mean, they aren't hardcore fans like us, but like just taking the time to see all the stuff that like all the detail that went into a movie like this. And you wouldn't even think, like, oh, a movie about Batman and Superman fighting doesn't have much depth, but there's so much depth to it, and you wouldn't have gotten that from, like, Christopher Nolan, I don't think, or, like, any of these other directors who have done DC properties.
No, and it would have been good, but it
wouldn't have had the same, like, emotional depth, at least to me.
Yeah.
So, I think it's time to go ahead and get started. We're already about 6.5 minutes in. So, all right. So, I have the movie paused on 0 seconds and 0 minutes, whatever, so I'm ready whenever you guys are.
All right. I think I can do the same here. Hey. Nice, 1 second.
All right, just got to the menu.
I know. Come on. All right. I do agree, though. I think in a lot of ways, I don't know, it's just kind of the mentality to hate on these movies. And honestly, they do take more than one watching to really, really get a good grip on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just wish people would go in with an open mind and sit down and just kind of let it go and not have preconceived notions or walk in to pick it apart, and just kind of let it play and see what they think after. Because I think in a lot of ways, if they just relaxed a bit and didn't try to keep trying to force their own conceptions onto it, then they would appreciate it for what it is, At least that's
a really
how I
great
feel.
point too, because I think a lot of people I think the general audience themselves went into this with like the Dark Knight and the Marvel movies in mind, so they already had like that the movie had to reach this pinnacle point, and if it didn't reach that for them, then the movie is awful. So that's where I think a lot of the problems with them lie. I mean, obviously, movies are subjective, so everyone's gonna have their own opinions. You don't have to like the movie,
of course.
But it's again, I think just people went in with the wrong mentality for this movie, and it sucks because like the movie, like I still do not get the hate this movie gets. So.
Me neither. Me neither. How do you hate beauty like that? I don't get it. So yeah.
Yeah, neither do I. All right, so I'm ready if you guys are.
Yep.
I'm ready. All I have to do is press play.
All right, and so start and play in 3, 2, 1. Also, A Beautiful Lie is one of the best tracks in the movie, by the way.
Oh my gosh. I heard that before I saw the movie, and I was already listening to it on repeat going, this is so beautiful! And then I saw the movie, and it was like, oh my gosh, now it's my favorite ever. So, yeah. And the leaves. The leaves are awesome.
And I love this opening, voiceover from Bruce, too.
You really have to pay attention to it. It says so much.
Mm-hmm.
Why is mine freezing? That just happened. Okay.
Rude.
Should we pause it for you?
Maybe. Mine seems to be having technical issues.
All right, I'll pause mine. And right now I'm at 52 seconds.
Yeah, mine's on Blu-ray. What's at 56 seconds for you? What's the picture?
It's black. It's right before the shot of them walking in front of the theater. So it's after.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Got it?
Yeah.
All right, here we go again. At 56 seconds.
I don't understand the complaining either about we've seen this a million times. We've never seen it in this universe.
Oh, yeah,
and so this scene is very crucial to set up this Bruce's mindset and you know how it's affected his life, everything about it, you know. And of course, as we learn later, it's severely crucial, but it's so very important and such a gorgeous way to do it.
I think this is the best shot Wayne death we've ever seen.
Yes, definitely.
Because it's just like the music, just everything about this scene, like I had no problems with it. Again, just seeing like the pearls fall, everything just feels so like beautiful about it.
Yep. Well, and even his parents have real character to them. Not that others haven't, but you know the fact that his father, in a minute here, gets angry and you know
he tries to go after him for a second, whereas like
defend it. You know, they have personality. They never even speak, but look at all the character that they have.
Yeah, of all the like versions of the Wayne death I've seen, this is my favorite.
Same here. Yep. And beautiful foreshadowing too, with the glove curling to a fist, and yeah, you know, everything is just everything is there for a reason.
Michael Wilkinson, of course, he's
awesome.
I especially love the Excalibur reference at the theater.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm an Arthurian geek. So that made the whole movie better.
Oh yeah. The pearls and sorry. Anyway. Okay, you notice though in the soundtrack, Hans Zimmer is my prince. But the high soprano only really comes in when Martha's around. Yeah. It's always about Martha. That high soprano is Martha. And it's not until much later when you get the Martha scene at the end, that voice comes back. And here, if you listen to it on the soundtrack, she's still singing, but it's so low that she's almost kind of moaning in the background until it finally fades away. And I mean, oh my gosh, there's so much layer to that. You know, because even her influence on him, her effect on him started to finally fade into the background. Why he's doing this, that humanity that she had, and it was only later that he got it back, and boom, there's the soprano again. The pearl. Sorry. That was the point. I go, what the heck?
I want to ask you guys something real quick. So this scene coming up.
So
this scene coming up with Bruce being like lifted by the bats. At first, before we found out that this was like a whole like the dream, whatever, I wasn't crazy about it, to be honest.
Well, we all have that image of Batman Begins, where he's standing in the bats and letting them flutter all around him, and that's more true to life. He's certainly not getting lifted up.
Yeah.
You know, but you're right. But even the pearl landing, even the very first viewing, I was like, that's weird. That shouldn't be there. Why is that there? And so when he lifted up, I remember thinking, okay, I'm going to just sit and wait on this. And then it was like, oh, okay, in the dream. Because some things weren't adding up. It wasn't right. Why is he suddenly upside down when he's running? Why is there a pearl there? And so it did help to have those little call signs up there to be like, this is not normal, guys. And you're right, Hugo. You're right. This is not normal.
It's still visually cool because like you see like the bat symbol as he's lifted up, you know?
Exactly. Well, and it's perfect. I didn't even notice the symbol till somebody pointed it out, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so stupid! Look, his feet make a bat symbol." But at the same time, the symbolism is exactly what it's supposed to be. The bats, the whole idea of Batman was supposed to lift him to the light and bring him to a better place.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Bruce tells us, that's a beautiful lie. So, and we all go, "Whoa, that's profound." You know, it's just so beautiful.
And I love this thing, Metropolis, Mankind is introduced to the Superman.
The Superman, yep. Solid white, you know. This is one of my favorite scenes because it's just impressive to me how perfectly they gelled it together with the ending of Man of Steel. And it's so important that it's Bruce. It's not Batman trotting around there. It is Bruce Wayne.
Because he's the human perspective from this thing. Because, like, from Man of Steel, you only really saw Clark's perspective. I mean, you had, like, Perry and Jenny's perspective from the ground, but, like, they shows the more personal and the more like just real aspect of like if this was going down, like how we should be feeling, not necessarily as for like, you know.
Exactly. You know, you're right. You watch Man of Steel and it's awesome, but at the same time you don't really get that feeling. You kind of get the feeling you're above. And this one, we are very much below. We are the people down below dealing with this. And
And one thing, like, no one else I knew at the time had watched Man of Steel since it had come out. So I was watching this scene, I was like, oh, this is when this happened and this thing.
Exactly. I'm like, look, it's all coming together.
I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. Is this just some random attack? And it's like, it's not random.
No.
It's in very well with the other movie.
not random at all. I in a lot of ways, if I was going to sit down someone and introduce them to this movie that had never seen Man of Steel, I'd just show them like the last 20 minutes, and then okay, now we're going to move on to this one because it's so very important that you
People
understand.
forget they tie in.
Yeah, and they tie in so perfectly. It's a bit amazing.
And one thing I want to point out too, because I feel like this scene also kind of like is for the people who hated Man of Steel, because there were a lot of people who said like the last fight dragged out way too long and the whole action sequence took way too long.
Yeah.
This is in real time, so in reality, it was only a few minutes.
Yes, it didn't last long at all.
Whereas, like, yeah, Man of seen long, like, in Man of Steel, but, like, it really did not last as long as people think it did, so...
No, it did, because we were getting different perspectives, different viewpoints, and all that takes time. This does not. We're getting only Bruce's viewpoint.
Yeah.
And this right here, like, from outside, it's like, oh, look, a plane flies into there, but we're all going, holy crap, they all just died. You know, like, we're just realizing Hardy just died. He just sacrificed himself for that. You know, I mean, it's really so cool to see it from the different points. And watching him run is still one of my favorite things. Bruce Wayne. I love this Bruce Wayne. And this in particular is just...
I know
it's
that
just
God's
so
heat vision, yeah.
We're all like, holy crap. See, and I'm like, oh, that's when he got his laser vision. That's when Zod got his laser vision. You know?
But here, like you care more about the human damage that he's causing. So,
yeah,
from this perspective, like you get why Bruce is mad at Superman.
Yeah, totally. They gave him a good perspective, and it
really
frustrated me greatly as so many people were like, I don't understand why you're so upset. And it was like, really? Okay. The movie didn't just painstakingly give you his perspective and a reason why he should be upset about this. You know, half the world was upset after the ending of the movie. You're telling me Bruce doesn't have a good reason? So, I don't know.
Also, another quick
one
thing I
thing
wanted
I've
to say real
noticed.
quick is, do you guys notice, like, all, like, the horses throughout this movie?
Yes.
Yeah, so, like,
The
do you think that
horses.
that's, like, another little thing that, like, Zach wanted to throw in there? Like, because I'm not sure what exactly it means, but I've seen people notice it before, and it's, like...
It's always noticed, and I agree. I think it's a recurring motif. I know that Pulp K. Latura referred to it in her very long Awesome Sauce meta about this being a revenge tragedy. Oh, the kids! See, I love the kids in the Ultimate version because we missed that the first time around. And in some ways, I was willing to go with it, but it's like, why is there a kid just randomly standing there? Oh, now you know why. You know.
And you know what's funny? Because when they said that his name was Wally, Scoot McNairy or whatever, I thought he was Wally West for a second.
I'm like, yeah, he's got a leg problem. That's going to be an issue, you know.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys remember, because I remember when they were filming
he would
this...
heal after that, you know.
I remember when they were filming this, when they showed Scoot McNairy on set, and he had like those like green CGI socks, whatever. Everyone assumed he was the Flash at the time. I remember.
Interesting. That's very interesting. Gosh, see, we're all like, I don't know. Everything that he's doing right here is setting up who he is, and so later, you know, even when he's taking out criminals and people are getting upset about guns and stuff, it's like, do you not understand that we have been given this picture of who he really is at his essence before it gets twisted, before he starts to fall down the rabbit hole, so to speak, you know?
And this is where it starts for him, just this look of Superman falling down, too.
Exactly. And many people have pointed out that, I mean, this girl just lost at least her mother, you know, she just lost a parent, you know. It's very, very striking that they created it just right for him to be equating this with his original tragedy.
And something, like, I come from a cop family, so, like, during these scenes and stuff, I can't help but equate it to, like, 9/11 and how that affected, like, the whole country. And this is obviously on a bigger scale.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yep.
All that heartbreak and anger, you can just imagine.
Oh yeah, all the tragedy that comes with it, and just, you're right, you want answers, you want revenge, you want some kind of closure, and sometimes you go about the wrong ways trying to find it. I love how it shifts immediately to the beautiful blues, though, and the greens, and I'm like, ooh, pretty.
That's why I think, like, when people say that, like, Zack Snyder
far
has...
away from, you know, ground zero.
That's why I think when people say, like, Zack Snyder has, like, that dark filter and everything, just, like, I don't think he does, because look at the colors in this movie. Like,
there's a lot of colors.
There's a lot of, like, this
right.
scene in
Yeah, he knows how
particular,
to actually use color.
He does, yeah.
Yep.
Doesn't just throw it in willy-nilly.
Well, and I don't know, I love everything about it. But right here, you know, they went straight back to the source. They went straight back to the Otherworld engine. They found the one thing, you know, that's still from Krypton and used it. It all comes together perfectly plot wise, you know.
Yeah.
They didn't just randomly discover this on Earth, you know. They went looking, and it is the only thing.
All right, so with this scene coming up with Lois in the desert, are you guys upset that they killed off Jimmy Olsen so early on?
No. No offense to Jimmy. See, I'm not a comic book geek, so I don't have a great big love built up for him. I remember him vaguely from the Superman movies of my youth. But in the end, this is not just Superman. This is building up to Justice League and about Batman and everything else, and it just doesn't... It's obvious that's not where they're going. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm so glad they used the character at all.
Yes, and he's actually, I don't know, he's really cool here in a lot of ways. You know, he's very brave. You know, Lois.
You know what's funny? This actor right here, this actor right here who plays Jimmy, he played Lex's brother in Smallville.
Oh, okay, that's why he looks.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen Smallville, but I know he's got a familiar face. And
then Amy Adams was in an episode too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We moved way through that.
Like there's a lot of Smallville Easter eggs.
I'd have to go find that just for the fun of it. This is nice, though, in the way that it explains a little bit more about what's going on. You know, we go, oh, okay, she was in an interview. But at the same time, even in the theatrical version, I was like, oh, okay, she's interviewing a guy
I feel like I didn't need the extra
Fair enough, you know,
yeah.
like it's not that hard to put together. You know, it was pretty.
It really
isn't.
isn't.
Oh, it does it's like a comic book, you're right.
Yeah.
Like immediately coming up on KG Beast, and you know, you can picture it just comic book panel after comic book panel. It's really an amazing way to present a film.
I love Lois in this movie.
I know. I don't understand how people don't love her. Look how wonderful she is.
When they do it in this like terrorist leader guy, like he's not like inherently evil necessarily. Like, he's trying to make a good point.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this is what he's talking about. You know, who's really innocent? Who's really not? You know, who's to say what's right and what's wrong? You know, who's to say that America doesn't have things to answer for? All I care about is my people. You know, the things he brings up are very important to this film.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has their people that they want to protect.
Security contractors, General.
Who pays for the drones that pass over our heads at night? One question begs another. Yes?
Say what you're saying, General.
This is a camera.
The United States has declared its neutrality in your country's civil war, both in policy and in principle.
I don't know, but you just exposed. These
Not my film, man.
fictions, spoken like truth. Okay, that's my film.
It's not just film.
He knew it too. Oh gosh, he tried. He played innocent as long as he could get away with it, but when they already know it's there, you know, he has not a leg to stand on.
It's neutral.
It's not a good place for intelligence people to be.
No, not so much.
CIA. They're attacking us. CIA.
No, I
Brought him here.
no. He's a photographer. No.
It's okay, Lois. Ilan tutarayan ng akwa generalin. Ile turagan inna da kagatamna timbigit.
Okay, we've all gone quiet. This is very intense. I'm watching, but
There's a civilian in the compound. We'll
I
extract
really love this guy, and I really love Olsen
friendlies in the blast zone.
or Talon, because he really did try to make it clear. Look, she had nothing to do with this. You know, he didn't sell her out and bring her down with him.
Well, here comes the shot from the Comic Con trailer that we were all crazy about.
Thank you. I was like, the version came out. And I'm like, where are the horses, man?
vámonos. Es not the
Another
same.
question I do have is, whatever they never said what happens to this guy after Superman flies him through a wall.
I'm assuming he's in jail somewhere.
Yeah.
Double cross, triple cross, double cross. Guys,
Everybody dies.
it's like, hey, you're supposed to be on our side. That's just, I really liked how they did the journal wheel. That was really nice. This is the one most crucial thing I think that was unfortunately missing from the theatrical version. The fact that they
Agreed.
make it look like Superman did it. Because, like, even I was like, okay, I can go with that, but it made it so much more clear that unless they're digging apart those bodies and doing forensics, like serious amounts and stuff like that, they're not going to find the bullets. You go, buddy. That's us to every government official right now. Anyway, but yeah, and the fact that they did the oil cans and you see that shot really quick before they leave led me to go, okay, they burned them, but the flamethrower made it that much more real and understandable.
And that's what really made this movie rated R.
Clear to engage.
Yeah.
On top and in range. 3, 2.
Here comes our boy.
I know. Awesome.
That's just awesome too.
I do miss the shot of him like bolting down from the sky though. That's what I miss anymore.
Yeah.
Take one step.
And I think it's interesting.
Got that face? Yeah.
It's interesting that they had him come in from the right to stop the drone missile, whatever. Because, usually in cinema, they have the more powerful one person, whatever, come in from the left, because that's how English speakers read.
Oh, that's interesting. So that's him going against the tide. That's him pushing back against the flow of natural left to right, which is honestly what he's doing pretty much the entire movie. That's cool. And not from left wing, right wing, nothing conservative, just in terms of the natural flow, the way the world goes. He's trying to push back against that continually, right up until his last moments. And then this scene was particularly heartbreaking. This is where you actually get to see, yes, there are people affected by this. It's not just fun and games. You kill people and, stuff like that. There's consequences. And there's loss.
You know what? Like, there are some people who've said,
right there, you're right. That made it rated R.
Yeah, well, I think some people have said, and it's obviously I don't agree with this, that like this whole Africa thing is inconsequential because it really it adds nothing much to the story. But I think all this stuff, especially added in the Ultimate Edition, it's showing. It's people like, oh, you don't need this because you already got Batman's perspective. But it's like it's not just about Batman's perspective; it's about the human perspective.
Yes, exactly. This was crucial to turning the tide of the public's opinion against Superman. There were already people who didn't like him, but this really, really pushed it over the line. Made a lot more people go, okay, maybe he's not as good as we thought he was, What is he really about? So, yeah.
I mean, if someone went up to me tomorrow and said, hey, this powerful dude just killed all these people, even though some of them were kind of bad, he didn't have orders or anything, I would be scared.
Yeah, it's like, what? And everything about it it's just like all the heroes and the icons we hold up right now, people we really admire, and then they go and pull something really, really bad, and you go, oh, I thought you were better than that. You start to doubt, and you start to see them as fallible and flawed instead of the actual, hero you thought they were.
But props to the senator. She's trying to see both sides throughout this whole thing.
I love that. That is so nice because at first I thought she was just going to be out to get Superman no matter what. And no, she's actually the voice of reason.
She really is, yeah. And underrated performance. Holly Hunter did an amazing job in this movie.
Yes.
Underrated character. I was so mad when they killed her off towards the
I'm like, I wanted more of her. What are you doing? But it all made sense. That's the problem. Story-wise, it's completely
understandable. Here's that first scene they filmed.
Zeke Baker is open.
Okay, somebody said somewhere that it was like they basically already had the game won anyway, but then Metropolis just went ahead and scored another because, you know, you might as well rub it in their faces, and that really seemed to set up the whole idea of Gotham versus Metropolis and Superman versus Batman, and I was like, oh,
Yep.
that is kind of funny. You know? So even the football game, it has meaning. It's not there for no reason.
The end is
Yeah,
now.
and that scene, like I said earlier, cop family. Like, I know, like, a responsible cop wouldn't pay that much attention to a game rather than what they're supposed to be doing. So for me, I'm like, Gotham PD, what are you doing?
I know. You should be
I
patrolling,
feel
guys.
like if Gotham PD did their jobs, Batman wouldn't necessarily be around. You know?
Exactly.
In a lot
really
of ways,
steps it up.
this is 20 years later, exactly. They're just waiting for Batman to let
Yeah.
them know when they need to go help, and they've got a little bit complacent in letting him be the police, so to speak, instead of actually doing it themselves. And that is a problem, you know, which is why Clark says later, as far as I can tell, they're actually helping him, like, you know, they're just kind of letting him do their job, but that gives him a lot of power. See, and I don't know, I just love the ladies. I love how,
How
you know,
terrified they are of Batman.
they recognize that it saved them, but they still don't want to come out. You know, it's like, no, we're scared of him. He saved us, but we don't want to come out while he's here.
And it's funny,
You know?
there's almost like an interesting parallel with Superman himself, because yet he saves people, but yet people are still terrified of him.
Exactly. Everything about that is setting up his persona and his identity here, so you understand how the world sees.
There we go.
This whole thing's just suspenseful, man. I can't wait for something to jump out. It was like, oh gosh, you know, don't kill the young cop. He's trying to do good.
Yeah. I remember my mom was confused by this scene because she was like, I thought Batman and the police were like friends. They work together. I'm like, well, yes and no.
Yeah, they are, except,
He works with
just
Gordon,
like he
not
said,
necessarily
he's
all
never
of the
seen him
PD.
before. And he's terrifying up there, you know. And we're not there yet, but, you know, yeah, he panicked. He completely freaked out because he'd never actually had a face-to-face encounter with the thing, you know.
Yeah.
So, and he definitely seems more than human here, and also less than human, you know. I mean, he's up on a wall, he's scary, he scrabbles, you know. I mean, he's just not human, you know, and yet he's this large force that is way more above human, and that's scary.
The Batman.
You're already kind of freaked out, and then,
Yep.
oh,
Because it's almost like a horror movie at this point, you know?
yes, exactly.
Exactly.
And that's why he completely freaked out and panicked, you know. Poor guy. Oh, there goes another bullet shell. Dude.
Oh,
Christ!
I never saw him before. I
You almost took my face off. How about you don't shoot the good guys?
Just like, listen to the fear in the cop's voice when he says this, though.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ. You granted up.
See, that's just, ugh.
I love their apartment.
Me too.
I just say, what a nice
I was
building.
just about to say that.
Because it's
I
not like
see,
it's not
and
like
at the
overly
same
nice.
time-
It seems like an average couple's apartment, you know?
Yeah. Well, and it's also, you could tell it's an old building that has been renovated and redone into apartments, and they've kept the old charm of it, but they've also renewed it, which is exactly, basically, what Zach is doing with Superman.
Exactly.
You know, it's an old comic book story. We all know about Superman, and he's keeping a lot of the old, but he is also adding new and making it a new product for this day.
Mhm.
It's really a beautiful thing. Go Lois. I love watching her mind work.
I know.
I love that they actually give her smarts and intelligence. This is what she does for a living, you know? Like, she's not going to be like, oh, Clark, you got to help me with this, you know? She's like, no, this is something I can follow, you know? Oh, it's just, it's so neat to watch her go.
Yeah. I'm so happy that Zach didn't sexualize this scene with Lois.
Thank you.
He easily
Yes.
could have. He easily could have, and yet he doesn't.
Yes. And I would have been really uncomfortable with that. That's not
Me
something
too.
I don't go
Yeah.
to films to see that. You know, I don't need to. Please don't. And
Because-
they
yeah.
just kept the camera so far up, and everything about it was just so nice.
You know?
They held hearings about what happened. They're saying.
I don't care. I don't care what they're
I just kind of love how Clark comes home with like, oh, I'm gonna make her dinner, have her flowers, just go back to town. And then Lois is like,
he's too good for
serious
this
stuff.
I know, he's like, no, I don't want to talk about serious crap. You know.
I'm saying I want to understand what happened. I'm saying thank you for saving my life. I'm saying there's a cost.
Those are very important lines.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that she recognizes that he saved her, but also that she wants to know everything because there's mysteries there, and that there is a cost to it. It's not just fun and games. It's not Saturday cartoons.
Mm-hmm. And I love that they bring back their love theme from Man of Steel.
Yes, it's such a beautiful thing.
And it's so subtle too. It's like a,
Yep. And they've grown together so much over 2 years. It's just really a lovely thing.
and it's just look at the looks they give each other. Just
Exactly. Exactly. So much of it without words. They don't need lines and dialogue. Yeah, the whole sense of fun. Right, Dork, you big fat goofy goon, you know, but we love him because he's cute and just so in love with her. It's so fun. It's adorable, you know. It's
And
like,
one thing-
and you're right. It's not sexualized. I mean, we know what they're doing, but it's not sexualized. It's Lois
it's
and
love, yeah.
Clark. His eyes, you know, exactly. It's romanticized. There we go. So. And many people have mentioned the female gaze and how Zach seems to cater to it. Honestly, makes me giggle. You know, I honestly don't go to see like Ben Affleck's Bear Bum either. That doesn't need to be there, but it's like, thank you for making it all about the chicks. You know.
That's why I get so offended when people say that Zack Snyder is just like Michael Bay. It's like, no. Michael Bay is a sexist asshole. Like, Zack is like a hardcore feminist. Like, he wouldn't be like, if he was sexist, like, he would have shown Lois's boobs because of the rated R. He would have shown, like, there's so much he would have shown, and yet he doesn't.
Yep, he does not. And you're right. There is a reason. Oh, I love this Alfred. Can I say that? I adore Michael Caine's Alfred. Always have, always will. But this guy, I mean, he shows up, and I'm like, Jeremy Irons, what a lovely Alfred you are.
He was the first. He was the first person I had in my mind for Alfred. I didn't want anyone else.
Contracts on the global space out of the program.
Isn't that great when you actually get that in your casting? You're like, I think this is perfect, and then they cast him, and you go, yes.
The theory is that the Russian will lead me to the man himself. If he is indeed like him, you don't even know if he exists. Could be a phantasm.
I like the phantasm thing too. Bit of an Easter egg.
Nice.
New rules.
The Bat brand of justice.
We're criminals, Alfred. We've always been criminals.
I absolutely don't understand why people don't see this scene and realize that Alfred is going, dude, this is a problem. You know, this is new. I don't like it. It's not good. You know, and Bruce just kind of blows him off, but he is trying to point this out. No, you know, you're going too far.
One thing I like too, because after watching the behind the scenes stuff, like all the stuff on the monitors is real. Like Zach made it clear, like he wanted there to be actual stuff on the screen.
Oh, that's great. You're right. So often it's just something green, or they added it later. And that's wonderful. Zach is such an old school dude. I love his work.
It's just something about that exchange just now with like the powerlessness, the rage thing, like dealing with like my own mental health issues in the past. I totally get that. I like felt those exact feelings.
Exactly.
Moments like those in these movies where I go like, oh, I'm them.
Exactly. Oh, look, it's me. You know, and it's like, okay, so we're not supposed to agree with what Batman is doing in this film for much of it, but we are supposed to understand how we got there.
Yep.
Because we all can relate to that and go, yeah, okay, I do understand, you know, when you just want to go find somebody who hurt people you cared about and beat the crap right out of them. I felt that, you know, we all want to do that. And so, yeah, you're right, it's very relatable.
Found it.
Oh, Lex.
Kryptonian world engine.
What does a rock have to do with Homeland Security?
Homeland Security. No, man. Planetary security.
The way he does it, just the way he talks. I don't know.
We suspected it might have bio interactions, so we took the sample to Emeryt.
where they keep the remains of the Kryptonian decedent. And
so for a long time, I wasn't interested in Superman or Lex Luthor or any of that, because to me, it was just like, it was the same thing over and over again. It's kind of boring. This old bald dude was just being evil for whatever.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've really been interested in a version of Lex Luthor.
Agreed. They did such a nice job drawing the parallels. You see how he got to a very similar place that Bruce did. You know, they're both following the same plane for a lot of the movie, and it's due to that feeling of powerlessness, that feeling of rage, that fear of somebody having more power than you. You know, it's just, they did such a nice job. I love this Lex, I really do. I know lots of people have issues with him, but I do have an advantage that I didn't come in with any kind of preset notion about what he's like, you know? I was like, okay, he's got hair. All right. You know, it just, I don't know. It doesn't bother me. And I love that, like, Zod's body didn't just disappear from one movie to the next. So often they just kind of leave little details and never come back to them again, never bring it up, and no, every single thread that was still there when Man of Steel was over, Zack just gathered up and weaved together again, and it's that's how I like to write. So that speaks to me, you know. Thank you for paying attention to all those details and incorporating them. Really nice. Oh, here comes the Jerry scene.
No.
This got so much attention, but it's so important.
Crashed Kryptonian ship.
Mm-hmm.
Done.
Oh, this music.
Love his theme.
It's
and
like
look,
horror
the
theme
ship's
almost,
still
too.
there. You know, yep.
I'm so glad they kept the scout ship there.
Yeah, see, I love that. You know, and you really start to see what makes this guy tick and how he works. Because look at all of this stuff, all this power he's getting just by, you know, what he does and how insidious he is at working the back. I love this. See right here.
And like something I just noticed, like Lex Luthor, he wears a lot of white. He has the white car. It's almost like he's trying to convince himself he's the good guy with the white hat.
Yes.
That's a really good point. I didn't even think of that.
I think he views himself that way. They always say that about the villain, but you're right. He thinks what he's doing is right. You know, it's just so cool.
And that's what makes a good villain too, is a villain who thinks they're doing the right thing.
Exactly. Well, and they have a reason for doing it. They're just not born bad, you know, and they decided along the way, you know, what they needed to do. They have causes. They have reasons. Mercy Graves is such a wonderful thing. I just, if I had one thing from this movie that they undid later, it would be bringing Mercy back, because she's just cool.
For her, her and Holly Hunter for me.
Yeah, Holly Hunter. And again, look, Zod's body. I mean, everything about it. It's so perfectly continual. Oh gosh.
Another thing I really hated was like after the movie came out, like I remember Michael Shannon did an interview where he said like he was watching the movie on a plane and he fell asleep. And then all of the trades and newspapers and articles were like, Michael Shannon fell asleep watching Batman vs Superman, goes to show how boring it is.
And it's like, no, you're on a plane on a long flight and you're tired.
Yeah,
you know, you're sitting still and your body goes, you're going to sleep. I don't care how interesting that movie is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's part of what causes people to come into this film and be ready to tear it apart.
Yeah.
Is because the news have jumped on that idea that we should now present everything in a negative light with this.
Yeah.
See, and right there, that's much more striking than the theatrical, and I did love that. You know, her words, how do you decide?
Yeah.
How do you know? This is a great responsibility for someone to have, is just a guy who's, you know, strong and trying to help, you know? And he really takes it to heart. He really thinks about it. That's the kind of hero I want. That's the kind of hero that I give a crap about. The one that's just convinced he's right and doesn't listen to anybody else, you know, is not the guy that I really want to root for.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't know if you guys have noticed. You guys have seen like all like the little like Justice League teasers from the last couple of days, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you guys noticed the one with the Flash? He's like running up to the memorial.
Yes. Somebody pointed that out, and I kind of freaked out a little bit. And I was like, yes. So I'm so excited. See, look.
That hero part.
He's underneath the finger. He's underneath the hand. He's tiny human to be flicked away by this giant god. You know how they all like view him in some kind of perspective and put on him parts of what they fear or what they hate. And and in the end, he's just a guy, but they make him this giant monument, and that especially that shot right there when it comes up underneath it is so perfect.
So I saw like a smaller version of that statue as well as a Batmobile at Comic-Con last year, and it was it's so cool seeing that stuff in person.
And I love that they had a couple different versions, and Zach was like, "No, it's wrong. It's not. The position's not right." And they're like, "What?" And so he like shows them. He like gets down on one knee, shows them. Be like this, And he really had an idea in his head. He could tell everything was done for a reason. He needed that to look like that.
And responders quickly created a precautionary perimeter around Heroes Park while they brought the man down from this beloved monument. The suspect has been identified as Wallace Vernon. I work for Bruce Wayne! He'll be arraigned on charges of vandalism, resisting arrest, and the felony charge of making terrorist threats. That carries up to 40 years in prison.
Poor son of a bitch. Jetty, headline. End of love affair with man in the sky? Question mark.
Okay.
And Perry's a great guy, but he really shows how the media is like, oh, okay, so how should we present this? And they're not really thinking about much but the news and getting readers, which is exactly why they report like they do on the DC films. But on top of that, that's the news, but then you've got, like, Clark, who's severely bothered by it. We're all watching and going, dude, this poor innocent dude just got completely screwed by Zod and Superman, just like people always complained about. We get more and more story, and it's not simple. It's not easy. There's no way to just be, to take care of everything. Remember Saturday cartoons? Like, they'd break millions of buildings. I grew up watching those, but nobody ever got hurt. It's not like that. It's not like that.
I'm a reporter.
I love this.
See, this stuff was so necessary for the theatrical cut. I don't know. I still don't know why they cut it.
I don't envy Zach's job in looking at a 3-hour masterpiece and trying to decide what is not important enough to take out, because to him, it's all there for a reason. It's all important. And that must have been like cutting apart your own child. It would be a very difficult thing to do. I love this guy.
What I love is that this movie shows like Clark investigating, not even something he's been assigned, just investigating something important.
Yes,
and like
exactly.
I feel like some versions of Superman have left that out of his character.
That's very true.
They do very often. Often they don't incorporate it.
The only times I've ever noticed that they do that is in Smallville, and like even in the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, he doesn't really go out there and investigate.
Doesn't really do news. Yeah. He's just kind of there to hear about the trouble.
Yeah.
See, in this fight, what? How kind of awesome is that? Like, the little guy, who happens to be dark, is losing and gets one tip from Bruce Wayne, and it turns the tide of the entire fight, and he takes down the bigger guy. I mean, A, that's foreshadowing, and B, it shows you how he works. He evaluates the weaknesses and then exploits them. His fighting style is very good, because otherwise he'd be like a tiny puddle. Superman would just squash him, but no, he's very, very intelligent in the way that he fights.
What's all of them, Sue?
Good evening.
Good evening.
That's the thing I like about this is Bruce, like, he's not, like, obviously in some other persona. Someone who knows Bruce Wayne would know he's Bruce Wayne.
Yep. And
so
he
like,
just
rich boy. He's at the
throws out that Playboy thing, throws out that ballerina line and stuff like that. It's just a casual, it's not in your face. I'm a Playboy. It's just like, oh yeah, this is who I am. Even though it's all a facade. And yeah.
And the whole water's wet line was my favorite lines of the movie.
I
I remember this is the first clip I saw when they released it before the movie.
Yep.
Hold the bullet.
Harry's my favorite. I love him.
So who gave prototype military rounds to Tarek fighters in the Sahara?
You're the reporter, tell me.
I think that the U.S. government is arming the rebels while claiming to support...
Yeah, and I know a little bit about guns. And so, like, for me, this conversation is like, oh yeah, that's a really, really weird bullet. They'd have to have someone big behind it.
Exactly. Yep. And then she's like, "You're right." She's tracked it down. It's a prototype. Nobody knows anything about it. Who the heck? How are they getting this in the middle of the Sahara? That's a story, man. Yeah.
Digging up snakes, though. Kind of dangerous.
Clark's worried about this.
He's so cute.
Again, too
Like,
good for this
I didn't
world.
tell you because I'm gonna, whether you like it or not. And he doesn't get all buttsick crazy. It's just like, it worries me,
He's got to think for nerds.
I love that.
See, and that was a nice, and not crucial, but in the end, really nice for us to go, oh, it was engineered for him to be there. Interesting. Okay. All these chess pieces, all these tiny moves to get everything just right. Very cool. That's a serious mastermind.
My dad always said that Kentucky Mash was the secret to health.
With like Lex and his father, I don't know if either of you have read Hero of a Thousand Faces, the hero's journey stuff.
I know about it. I haven't read it cover to cover.
And in part of sort of the introduction, he talks about how the hero is the ruler over his domain, whether that's just his own mind or a business or whatever.
Yeah.
But when he fails to when he fails to go through the rituals, he denies the truth kind of thing, he becomes a villain. And he destroys what is in his domain. And Lex's father became his own villain.
Yeah.
And thus turned his son into a villain as well.
Yeah.
Because basically a big part of the hero's journey is the son shall become the father kind of thing.
Yes. As they talk about the atonement being at one meant, and you were at one with the father. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, see, this whole scene, it's not like there's much to it, but that freaking tapping, it's like, dude, stop it. And he's doing it just to bug her, just to get at her. The way his face changed the minute she said she was quashing his motion, it was like, oh, people who are not scared of this Lex because he's not big and beefy are really not understanding what a true villain is. You don't have to be big and bad and tough. You just have to be really devious and willing to do anything. It's a bit scary. Go ahead.
You don't think Dad would mind, do you? If I changed just one thing in this room? Because that should be upside down. Now, we know better now, don't we? The devils don't come from hell beneath us, no. No, they come from the sky.
Foreshadowing.
I know.
So cool, I know.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing, symbolism. Look at the cool choice. Look at everything about that painting is just cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then this, always Bruce, slow motion, and the leaves.
Now I have a quick question. Do you guys think we'll ever see Wayne Manor rebuilt?
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. But I agree. I'm not sure when.
Yeah.
Someone pointed out to me once that it represents Bruce's mental state.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I've read that too.
Yes, it does. Yes,
So
it does.
ideally, if that's correct, then it should be rebuilt throughout.
Exactly.
The next
But it would be later, Justice League 2 or beyond,
Maybe,
you know what I mean? When he's really, really
or maybe
got
even at the end
himself
of
to a
Justice
much
League,
better
yeah.
place, I don't know.
I just love how Michael and the stained glass in the background here. It looks like Superman with the color choices.
I know.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, and then the flowers completely block out his father's name, so Thomas is really not the focus. They're making you look at Martha
yep.
Wayne,
That's why for me, the Martha scene works, especially because this
yeah.
getting a little personal. I lost my own mom, so that scene, whenever if I were to hear my mom's name and someone said "save your mom" or whatever, that would trigger for me too. So I completely got it. I still don't get why it's such a problem for people.
Honestly, the only thing I could figure is that people want to pick it apart and find flaws. Because you're right, if they pay attention, the build up to it and the use of it is truly beautiful. And in a lot of ways, it's very, how do I put it? Not subliminal, but it's kind of on the low down, and they're not kind of beating you over the head with it, even though it feels like it. And I don't know. I think some people have issues with that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand. Oh, look at his house. I love his house.
Me too. I love it too.
It's simple. It's contemporary. Look at all the glass lines. You can see right through it. He's got no secrets. He's so simple. Except that underneath the water there's this giant layer of Batmobile awesomeness and bat things everywhere and stuff like that. That is completely and totally showing him right now as he is. Appears perfectly easy and no secrets on the top. Everything underneath the surface. That's exactly how he functions. And you're right. His ancestral home is his mindset, which is why later on it's completely decimated in his last dream because by then he's completely gone.
Can't see the DC income from them imported arms. Regardless, I'll need to put up each in this house, and I'm going to need the suit. The Bath interrogated
Brucey mixing alcohol and drugs first thing in the morning.
I know. Yeah. Poor Bruce.
Honey. He's got some serious coping issues. Unhealthy coping issues, Bruce. No.
He's been invited.
I love their conversations, though. They're so easy with each other. They've been together so long. Yeah. They're friends. They're partners. Alfred's he brings him coffee. I don't know.
Also, I want to say, this is like my favorite bat suit.
He's just seething, I mean, it's so cool. I go,
Like, he really wants to go in with the mask and the armor, but he's forced to go.
And then he's always reminded right here of...
And Robin, and we're all like, whoa, Robin! Oh gosh, history, what the heck? You realize how much this has happened that we never saw, and I love that. I love all the layers.
And I love this movie to death. I just wish that we got a little bit of explanation as to what happened to Robin, That's all I wanted, really.
Yeah, but in a lot of ways, I don't think it's needed because you get the gist. Joker killed him, And
it's not like it's not explained. I just as a DC fan, I'm spoiled and I just want more.
I see that. Honestly, I love him uncovering the car though because again, he's taking the cover off of his persona, of his Bruce Wayne Playboy millionaire persona, uncovering it, shaking it off, and getting in for the night. It's just, it's really, really cool.
He's Bruce Wayne.
He's like, okay. I love how it's like, well, that's great, but he doesn't really care much until a few minutes from now. It's like, wow.
Here comes the part where Diana and I both rolled our eyes at once.
I'm a bit rusty on Greek mythology. Is he giving accurate facts at least, even if he's twisting it a little bit to his own perspective, or is he completely wrong?
Very twisted.
Okay. I was going to say, he took it and kind of messed with it and made it what he needed it to be, right? And that's why she's rolling her eyes, because she's like, that's not really... Okay.
Service corridor in the basement.
What? I love this. I have to admit, I love this scene.
It's his plan to destroy mankind, and for that, he was given a thunderbolt.
Here it comes.
That's not...
Yeah. Zeus wasn't trying to destroy mankind. He was just kind of keeping them down.
Yeah.
It's funny, I pointed this out before. It's like, Bruce is not being subtle here. Like, Clark notices him leaving, Mercy does, and it's like...
Yep. See, Clark does because he heard them talking.
Yeah.
He heard Alfred on his comm, and it's like, what the heck's going on? Everybody else is noticing things, but, again, he's so casual about it. I'm just millionaire Bruce Wayne wandering around, because
like those
the more
shoes.
casual you act, the less people are going to care that you're wandering. So...
Yeah, help
Seven.
me, Miss White.
Sorry. Seven.
The last martini was too many.
Yes, but it's upstairs.
Great. I'm okay.
Favorite line right here.
Like those shoes.
Woo! Yeah,
I am
my favorite. He's just so freaking... and then he drops it. God, that's my favorite. That is my favorite, because you go, oh, that is all persona. Every last bit of that is persona.
This is Alfred line, too.
Then he just... Yep.
God, he's like the perfect Alfred to me.
He is. He's so snarky, and he's so just making little comments about, dude, you're not living your life the way you should be. And I'm going to sit here and drink while you do it.
The bittersweet pain among men is having knowledge with no power, because that is paradoxical, and thank you for coming.
Lex reveals a lot about himself in that scene.
Yes, he does. Because we all go, whoa, he's got knowledge, but he has no power, and that upsets him very much. Okay. And then Clark is polite and claps. Okay, you fell apart there at the end, but I'll clap for you. So.
The statement in support of folks. So, bad habit. All right. What's your position on bad vigilante gun?
Oh.
Daily Planet. On this one, who's that the other guy?
Well, who is the other guy is what I want to know.
Living in fear.
Well, I know at least at one point in the comics, Bruce bought the Daily Planet so that Lex couldn't.
Yeah.
Yes. I heard that.
Daily Planet.
This whole conversation is so nice. Because Clark knows exactly who he is by this point. He's figured it out. And he doesn't immediately go suit up and threaten him. It's like, okay, we'll just bring up a conversation. I want to know what he has to say. He always goes with talk first.
Be a damn thing we can do to stop. Because the world doesn't share your opinion, Mr. Wayne. Maybe it's the Gotham City in me. We just have a bad history with freaks dressed like clowns.
Boys! I love it. I love bringing people together.
And Lex just inserts himself into the conversation because he knows exactly who they are.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
So, after all these years, we finally got you over to Metropolis.
I thought I'd come drink your dry.
Well, you're welcome. You should have the hard
Bruce, you've been drinking enough.
I know.
My R&D's up to all sorts of no good.
Well, he's not lying.
He would love to loop him in and bring him in on this. He knows Batman hates him, but in the end, it's easier just to sit in the background and push him over the edge and not even let him realize he's being played. So, but he'd love it. If he was open to it, Bruce would just come right over and he'd be like, "Sure, let's work together."
Again, Bruce not being subtle at all.
He's so casual. Mark's not extremely subtle either. All he has to do is look behind him and be like, "Why are you following me?"
Now, I am curious as to what Clark would have done if he had kept following him.
I agree too. I do wonder.
Like if he didn't have to save
yeah. This isn't my Superman. He does not love the people. He does not save people, and he's immediately distracted by what? People are in distress somewhere.
I know.
I should go check this out. Okay. I love all her costumes. Every one of her costumes. Always
there's like one frame you get like the Trinity in one shot. You got like Clark's shoulder, Bruce's back, and then you got Diana going up the stairs.
It's tiny portion. I love that Greek temple.
Yeah, same. I am a little upset we never got the shirt.
I gotta go. But he doesn't save people. Bruce, you've just been played. Likey.
Hasn't happened since Catwoman.
I love it.
I love this sequence.
Everything about this entire sequence is so beautiful. So beautiful.
Yeah, it builds on the Messiah metaphor here.
Well, and
he looks like after he drops her off, he looks uncomfortable.
Looking for the bomb. Where's the bomb? Where's the bomb? Oh, and then he smiles because he's found her. That's all he gives a crap about. I'm going to return this woman, her daughter, happy and healthy.
But then look, as he gets up, he looks uncomfortable. Like he doesn't like
exactly because he kneels down to let her go, but then he comes up and they're all touching him. They're all thronged around him. They're all worshiping him. That's not what he's here for.
As a population on this planet have been
Did you guys notice the Glenn Woodburn character from Man of Steel in this?
Every religion
No.
some sort of messianic
Yeah, he's coming up here in a second.
Oh wait, yes I did. Okay, sorry. I thought you meant in the people. I'm like,
Oh
where?
no.
Yeah. Okay, see now this is always so symbolic. I mean the entire thing is, but I mean he's pulling this tanker across an area that it won't go naturally, and it's tipped on its side. It's on its side. He's pulling it, so it's not straight. It's not correct. It's just like the world. It's off kilter. It's tipped over. It's gone sideways, but he's still trying to pull it to get it where it needs to be.
state-level interventions should give us all pause. Human beings have a horrible track record of following people.
Oh, I love this one.
Down
I love this whole dance scene.
Hi,
Hi, Glenn. Thanks a lot. You're fun.
Icons in our own image. What we've done is we project.
And I love this because, like, rockets blow up really fast. Supes had to move real quick to get that.
This is the only time, look at the light behind him, where we see his face, his real face, and not just his figure. And everything that they're talking about in the news is talking about the way we as a public perceive him, one way or another. you know, as a god, as a threat, as a, you know, anything, all the different ways that they view him. Nobody except one person at that one key moment says, maybe he's just a guy trying to do the right thing. You know, that's the one. Except I do admit, I really love these people in the house. Their symbol, you know, and him in the cloud. It's also beautiful, but at the same time it's false, because he's not Jesus come to save them. He's not their savior. You know, he's just a guy who could fly and who wants to help.
But on principle, we did not want him to act.
I'm not saying he shouldn't act. I'm saying he shouldn't act unilaterally.
What are we talking about here then? Must there be a Superman?
Eris.
Poor Clark.
Poor Clark. I know. He's out there. He's put himself in the world, and now you're right. It's like, you know, it's over. It's done. He has created the Superman, and now he, you know, what do you do with that?
And that ties in with some things from Man of Steel so well. Like, he was so worried about what would happen if
Exactly.
people knew about him.
Exactly.
Like, the world
This is
reacted
exactly
like
what
Jonathan
John
Kent
feared.
said it would.
You know. Yep. And then he calls his.
As we all do.
I was gonna say, it makes me so happy that Clark is a mama's boy. You know, in the end,
really
her
is.
opinion means something to him. Her reassurance means something to him. They're so close. They have such a beautiful relationship. It makes me so happy.
What do I need to travel for? I'm already there.
She's a great Martha Kent.
Just wish it was more simple. My baby boy.
Oh.
Nothing was ever simple.
It's true.
Yeah, when I first fell in love with this Martha Kent was in Man of Steel, when he was having the sensory overload in the classroom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that was me as a kid. I'm on the autism spectrum. I was dealing with sensory overload and without a name for it.
Oh gosh, yeah. And so the teachers are just like, "What's your problem? What's your problem?" You know, because they don't get it either. Oh yeah. I think my biggest thing though was when he told her that he'd found his people, and she was like, "I am so happy for you," because she was, but she was also terrified, you know. And he's like, "What?" You know, and then she's like, "Oh," you know. And in the end, it wasn't, you know, that they were afraid the truth would come out. You know, it was that she's afraid that the world will take him from her. You know, and it's always been, she loves him and just wants him safe and happy. It's, I love their relationship. She is a perfect mother, you know. All right, we missed the whole scene with the bullet. Sorry, which was really fun. I gotta say.
I'm just so happy they added what's her name?
Oh shoot, Jenna Malone.
Jenna Malone. Yeah. I knew it was Jenna something.
She did a nice job.
I just hate that, like, everyone.
What I love here is that they show that the Bat brand, like, is a bad thing in Gotham. So they
But then also Lex manipulates that.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they all know it. He knows it going in, and they're like, not a problem, you know. And so the problem when society becomes uncaring and just starts to not give a crap, you know. People can work things from behind because they know how they'll react. Wow, what a dump. Wally, your house needs some help.
It's never a good sign when you're living in a place with steel doors.
Yeah, I would agree. I'd like the one F-bomb in this. All right.
I know.
I don't blame him. That would be my question too. But
I mean, honestly, other than like the blood and the burnt bodies, like there wasn't too much that made this rated R.
No, I agree. There was not a whole lot.
Like they could have had the F-bomb and not it be rated R, you know.
I've honestly wanted to write a big, huge, long meta about Wally for the longest time, simply because he is fascinating to me.
My wife.
In terms of when you look at the theatrical version, they don't make it insanely clear whether or not he knows that bomb is in there.
I know.
So either he is a suicide bomber who wants to make his death count and make a statement with it, or, as we find out in the Ultimate Edition, he's a complete pawn who has no idea what is going into play and what is going to happen. And it's fascinating to me because both work. Both are perfectly valid readings of it. It's just that you get one in one version and the other in the other version. Because for the longest time, just the theatrical version, it was like, oh yeah, he knows. He totally knows what he's going to do, and he's going to do it anyway. Everything about his faces told me that. But then I get here, and I'm like, oh, he had no idea. That poor guy. He just got screwed, you know? So, death is bad. Right. I was a bit bummed this got cut out too. Again, it's not essential. It can go. It's okay. But I remember watching the theatrical version, and when Clark gets the pictures, I'm like, is he dead? He passed away. Oh no, he got hit in prison because he's branded. Okay, so I put that together after about like the second or third viewing, but it's nice to have it given to you. So.
If I can enter, Major Ferris is just outside that door.
Major Carol Ferris, I love that.
She is such a reporter. I know, and Carol Ferris got a promotion. You go, lady.
All right. Is the U.S. providing experimental military arms to rebels in Africa?
Did you just go for the throat?
Your source on this. A tinfoil hat.
I'm so happy they brought Harry Lennox back.
Medal fired in the Superman incident. Experts at the Pentagon can't ID it. We haven't been told the truth.
Here's the truth. A reporter got greedy for a scoop and went where she shouldn't have. Superman acted like some rogue combatant to rescue her, and people died. Don't invent a conspiracy theory to put back his halo. Or yours. Major.
Yes, sir.
So, I logged into your Dropbox to find copy. There's copy books.
Oh look, that's what mine looks like.
About Friends of the Metropolis Library, just the goddamn Gotham Bat thing I told you not to pursue. Police won't help. The press has to do the right thing. You don't get to decide what the right thing is. When the planet was founded, it stood for something, Perrington. So could you if it was 1938, but it's not 1938.
Easter egg.
Ain't hiring no more.
Yep.
Apples don't cost a nickel. Not in here, not out there. You drop this thing. Nobody cares about
Perry prints out a whole sheet just to show that he got nothing.
I know. Way to waste trees.
But I love how Clark is, he's right. It's like, this is, why are we just standing here watching wrong things happen? We got to do the right thing, man, because that's what we do. How do people not see that this is their Superman, that they've always appreciated? You know what I mean? Other people don't do the right thing. Well, we should, always. And that doesn't just count for superheroes. That counts for people. Anybody standing nearby and going, whoa, this is wrong. And then they segue perfectly. Oh, look. We'll ridicule Superman a little bit. The public tide is starting to turn against him. Hey, look, it's a party. That's just such a nice thing.
I love the music in the background here. It's like, because if you know the lyrics to the version with lyrics, it's like, come waltz with me, be my friend kind of thing. It's like, that's
I did not know that. Awesome.
See, like what we were saying earlier, we're always finding more things in this.
Exactly. Gosh dang it, you guys, you're killing me. Zach. I love it, though. Bury me, and then it's okay.
Alexander.
I think we see Bruce's reflection here. Yeah, there it is. There's his reflection right there.
Yep.
No.
Yep, and we all look up. We were all like, Gordian knot. That means something. Gotta look that thing up. Google, be my friend. And yeah,
that's been my favorite story legend for basically my whole life.
So cool. I loved all the integration of the mythology and the Greeks and everything about it. It was so cool. It laces through this entire film. The thing of beauty.
Well, in general, like the DC, like the Justice League themselves have always been compared to the Greek gods and Greek mythology. So I'm glad that Zach kept that.
I did not know that. Okay, see, this is what I get for not being a comic geek. I have to. This is why I really appreciate the comic geeks on Tumblr that I follow, because they fill in the gaps, and I'm like, oh, I did not know that. Thank you. Because otherwise, I'm lost. I'm just a film buff going, I love this thing. So
I believe Mr. Luther is a photograph that belongs to me.
Did you get it?
It
can't wait to
happens
see
not
that
to get
in Wonder Woman, to be honest.
that
I'm so excited. It all comes together so perfectly.
I know.
Yeah, this is another scene I had to explain to my family, because they're like, I thought Wonder Woman was like this American icon, And it's just like, well, she's an American ambassador, technically.
She's not
from
white,
here.
Yep. I love Gal's version. I love how she does it. Oh, that's fine. I know. Please. Buddy, you have no idea.
And like, there were so many people criticizing, like, why didn't she like punch him in the face when he touched her? I'm like, have you ever been a woman? You can't just punch everybody,
especially in front of people at a party.
That she knows very well when the time is and when the time is not. She's been doing this a long time. Blow your cover, cause a complete scene, go completely batty because somebody touched your arm. She's not appreciative of it. She's like, excuse you, you better take that off. But at the same time, it's like, no, I can handle him just fine with just my words. And she does. And then she leaves him. I mean, sometimes you don't need force.
Here comes the nightmare scene.
I love how it goes so long. You're right, and even you're watching it, and like, oh my gosh, that's slow, and he's just staring, and I'm like, oh crap, he went to sleep. Even my husband, like the first time, he was like, oh, he went to sleep, and everybody's like, I don't get it, and it was like, he fell asleep, guys. It's not that hard. But see here, the lake is dried up. That's his home.
I didn't even realize that. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, there's the harbor.
Exactly.
Wow, I didn't realize that. Wow.
Metropolis, and there's his home, and there's, the lake is dead, everything's dead. He's in the same location he's always been in. Okay, that's a serious school bus. That's the kind of school bus they're going to bring out in a couple years. So, yeah. Sorry. Okay.
Especially under Trump.
I wasn't going to go political, but, there's something to it, So, okay.
Little side note, the soundtrack in this part, great for running. When you're really tired and you've hit, for me, it was 16 miles.
So it scares you good, right? It makes you kind of go a little faster? Okay.
That's how issue with you is for me.
And you just pretend you're running from parademons.
Perfect, you're right.
And if you notice, there are two different kinds of parademons in this shot.
Yeah. Wow, everything about this is so cool, because you really realize where he could go. Everything about this is where he is going if this progress is not halted. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Even if the world doesn't end up like this, which it's debatable about whether he's seeing the future or just dreaming about it and paranoid and freaked out. But either way works, because in the end, this is where he's going. This is what he will become if things don't change. And thank goodness they do, because I really like the Batman he is when he's not this far gone. The coat's a really cool addition, though, I gotta say.
Yep.
See, and it's like, wow, how long have you spent trying to track this down in this particular world? How long did it take to ruin the entire world and come to this point and you're still trying to find it? Oh, man, it's a light bulb. Trail You remember when the trailer came out, we were all like, why do they have the Superman patch on their shoulders? What is this?
And I remember because in the trailer they showed him snapping a dude's neck, and I'm like, Batman wouldn't kill.
And even here, he doesn't start shooting until they kill his guys in cold blood. Well, yeah.
And plus, and when the world's at
he's shooting a gun. You know what? I can see how he got there. It's always, for me, if you can see how they got there, I can go with it. But if they just completely bring it out of nowhere, then it's a problem. So.
But at the same time, if you understand the world, this future that he's in, his whole no killing rule, it's either kill or be killed,
Exactly. There's no in between, Yeah, this is a bad world. This is the worst he could ever become, and he's headed there right now.
Now I'm wondering if this is like an Injustice kind of world, or
in some ways, I think so, because the soldiers are clearly Superman followers / militia / zealots / working for him.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's a combination of Injustice and what happens if Darkseid wins.
Yep.
Yeah, because agreed. And I love how it's like, okay, so they've almost got him, but then I'm just going to go ahead and crack this last guy's neck just because.
Yep.
He knows he's down, but he's going to take one last out with him. And people are like, that's not my Batman. It could be. Easily. He's always had that edge. He always could be that.
Yep.
He just has to be very careful not to go there. My husband Batman's his number one favorite of all time, always has been, always will, and he's like, yep, I can see how that could happen. It just is. And here, we never get to see this. Clark's a, cuddly bunny, but, this ain't thing. You see what he fears. He doesn't know this guy personally. This is what he thinks he could be, Oh, look, all of his persona stripped away, all of his power, all of his identity.
She was my world. And you took her from me.
And there's his humanity stripped away. This look right here, he almost looks soft.
First look at Ezra Miller.
I'm like, the hell is this? Oh, it's the Flash, okay.
It took me a second to figure it out, too.
Well, he's got the face mask down, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? But, yeah. So it's he. Yes, you're too soon.
No, I'm assuming he's talking about Darkseid, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, Barry used too many pronouns, to be clear.
Yeah. And I love it because he is too soon. So the only he that Bruce is worried about right now is Superman. And this is just confirmation, man. And the papers in the background. I noticed that the second time, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was real! So cool.
See, this works so much better because of the scenes we saw already.
It does, but at the same time, it makes sense without it. Because you can see, especially when he gets the pictures and stuff, it's like, that's not an alive guy they're taking pictures of.
Yeah.
He's still on a slab. You know what I mean? Look at his face. Yeah, he's dead. I mean, so, yeah. It's not like they were like, okay, hold still for us, okay?
Mm-hmm. Like I got it when I first saw it. I just think it's better seeing the context of it.
It is. It definitely is, because you really see how much Lex was working it. It's not like these things just happened. They were manufactured. They were purposely put into motion. Makes Lex a better villain in a lot of ways.
Yep.
Portuguese is not a man. Ship. Master Wayne, since the age of 7, you have been to the officer section as Mozart to the harpsichord. Never been too hot at lying to me. The white Portuguese...
I like the little reference to how Bruce was kind of a weird kid.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's naturally disposed towards this, you know. Everything in his life just helped him along, you know. And I do love how it's like, okay, now is the time for me to actually get the truth out of him. He's known he's been lying to him for a long time. You know, even in the earlier thing, he knew it. But now it's like, okay, now's when I have to get the truth out of him, figure out what's going on, you know.
To destroy.
Oh, if only, Alfred, you're so sweet.
You're gonna go to war. That son of a bitch brought the war to us 2 years ago. Jesus, Alfred, count the dead. Thousands of people. What's next? Millions. He has the power to wipe out the entire human race, and if we believe there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty. And we have to destroy him. He is not our enemy. Not today. 20 years in Gotham, Alfred. We've seen what promises are worth. How many good guys are left? How many stayed that way?
None.
Alfred's the only good guy left.
It's okay, you're right, but Bruce isn't, and it's really a beautiful thing because this scene is so important. You really understand where he's coming from, and yeah, he's a bit over paranoid and way going overboard, but you see how he got there, you know.
And it ties into the beginning because, like, Thomas Wayne, he acted before the guy shot.
Exactly.
And that ended up getting himself shot in the end.
Yep.
So this preemptive action thing is just not the best move.
I love this whole thing too because the Gotham police are like, nope, except the one guy who's like, over there, you know.
And I remember seeing the set photos when they shot this too.
I'm so glad that this is in the version or this version because I missed it the first one. This is important.
He was a father. He was that too.
Guys, remember I saw the Ultimate Edition in theaters when they had like that limited
Yes, I was so jealous.
Yeah, I saw it but it was such because I live in San Diego, so it was like a 2.5-3 hour drive. And it was so worth. I ended up waiting in line for 3 hours. It was so worth the wait.
I like that. Words don't stop him. No word stops him. Fist.
No words stop him. That ends up important later.
See, exactly. We all go, oh, it's so true. And you can see how he's starting to realize this. But I love how also he's like, talk to me. Help me make it right. He's totally willing to go out on a limb with Perry White and do a story about this because it means something and it matters to him. You know, even the little people mattered. Even the people nobody gives a crap about matter. But hey, this is not your Superman, right? How is he not? I love this Superman. This is the only Superman I ever cared about.
Yep.
Yeah, the other one was fun to watch. You know, I love Chris Reeves. I loved his version as a kid and stuff. But I grew out of them. Yeah. It was easy to grow out of them because I just moved on and then it was Chris Reeves, I love the guy. But that was pretty much it. Yeah. This one matters to me. It's so weird. I can't even explain it. I'm like, what have you done to me, Zach? Why does he matter so much? But he does.
Has anyone counted how many Oh, I love this scene.
I love it. I know. It's perfect. It's so
Has anyone counted how many Wizard of Oz references are in this movie?
I don't know if they've counted, but it has been noticed, and somebody did a meta post about it a long time ago and mentioned.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it.
There are so many, and you're right. It's like, oh my gosh. I mean, it's quite fascinating to me. I'm like, did you like that movie as a kid, Zach, or does it just kind of fit? So you go, hey, why not? Or like, why is it there? I'm so curious.
Because of Kansas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're okay. You're right. That's it.
But at the same time, like, who doesn't love the Wizard of Oz? You know.
It's true. And if you don't, there's something wrong. So I totally get it. Totally. Not to mention the whole idea of the man behind the curtain and who's really in charge and, all of that kind of thing. So, this whole scene.
Oh, I love this.
Mandatory car chase. Can't use the Batmobile.
I'm okay with it. You kind of got to have one. Okay, see, and here's the interesting part. I was like, wait a minute. The car with people shot at him and left, and then he hit the next one. And I almost wanted to believe that it was empty, except you can hear the guys screaming inside. Yeah. And I was like, okay, that's fair. Yeah, he did kill those guys. But at the same time...
eliminating another threat before they can shoot at him.
Exactly. He is very eye for an eye mentality, this entire movie. He's very Old Testament in terms of, you shoot at me, I'm going to shoot back. You threaten a woman, I'm going to take care of you first. Like, if they're already doing it, he's okay returning it. And it's just, he's that close to tipping over the edge and becoming a straight up bad guy.
Yep.
I guess I find it sad that not as many people look at it and realize how close to the edge he really is. The portrayal is not supposed to be one that you're like, oh yeah, that's my Batman. You're supposed to be going, that's not my Batman. What happened to him? Why is he not my Batman?
Exactly.
And, and by the end, killing Superman in cold blood, would have done it. That was it. He would have been a bad guy. That would have been his tipping point. But, he pulled back from there. So at the end, we're supposed to be like, yay, my Batman's here, And all it did was make me just excited for Justice League. And now I am beside myself with happiness. I'm so excited, I can't wait, Especially I want to see my Batman, it's so cool.
Like yesterday when they dropped that little Batman teaser with Batman shooting at the Parademon, I'm like, oh my god.
You're so dramatic, I love it. Yeah. Good stuff, baby. Good stuff.
Yeah, I think one reason people had a problem with this movie is because, people have bought into this idea that heroes are supposed to be flawless somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how the idea got sold to us.
They want to revere that, yep.
One thing I also find problematic, too, is,
Goes through a wall! I love it. Totally unbreakable. Unbreakable!
Until they run into
it's unbreakable. Also, guys, notice it is unbreakable. That Batmobile's tough.
Yep.
Okay, keep that in mind. Remember, I swear, Zach's like, unbreakable. It's unbreakable. You can't break it.
Until Superman comes in.
I know. That's the best part.
But one thing I do find, people, compared to, DC, to the DC to the Marvel movies, the Avengers kill a lot. And no one says anything. Batman kills, and then it's a problem.
Faceless aliens, and it's okay. The fact that Batman is fighting humans who are bad guys, really bad guys, but that's okay. They're humans. Makes it a problem. And you're right, we've been sold on the idea that they need to be flawless, that they need to somehow figure out a way not to kill and get their job done. And these movies make people uncomfortable because they're pointing out the real world is not like that.
Yep.
Sometimes even doing good, you end up killing folks,
Yeah.
What the?
I love the look on his face.
Yeah.
Just slams on the plate.
And it's trashed. Favorite. That and the slow motion skateboard. I'm so happy.
Beautiful.
So iconically beautiful. Gosh dang, broke a car. And now you broke it.
Shot from the trailer. That was so iconic.
So awesome.
Next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it. Consider this mercy. Tell me. Do you bleed?
I like how Superman comes in, rips the doors off of his Batmobile like nothing, and he still has the audacity to be like, tell me, do you bleed? You will.
jump into the lake.
With no covering whatsoever.
Yeah. Bruce Wayne can teach stubborn to a neither will. I mean, you're right, and he's afraid, but he will never show it. You know, like he rips the doors off his car, he stands up to meet him. You know, he gets told you need to retire or I will retire you. You know, and then he's like, oh yeah, well I want to see if you bleed. Like, you know, he just he can't possibly admit vulnerability. Just so him.
I don't know if I mentioned this, but Ben fills out the suit so well.
Yes,
he literally embodies Batman. Like, that's the problem I had with Christian Bale, is that like his suit like didn't feel menacing to me. Like, I didn't look at him and I wasn't like terrified. You look at Ben, especially with proper lighting, he's terrifying.
Yeah, you know, comic book panels and even the animated stuff, they always made him out big and bulky. He was very large. And it was like, okay, you know, from the ones I saw, that was fair. And then I see Dark Knight series, and I'm a comic dork newbie, and I don't know much, and so I was like, okay, I just went with it. But you're right, then I see the difference, and I'm like, holy crap, he's huge and menacing, and you're right, he just creates such an entirely different persona, the way he fills out that suit.
Yep.
Emerald City, baby.
You just see like the look on Lex's face too. He's.
Oh, he is so entranced.
Yeah.
He's drunk on the power already. You know, he's just so.
I don't have a halo over me, Mr. Secretary. I went into the desert. People died. It keeps me awake. It should.
I like how in this movie both Clark and Lois admit to like having their own nightmare problems.
Yep.
But the only ones we see are Batman's, because his are probably the most twisted.
Yeah.
Agreed. But see, again, they all feel some accountability for what happened. They all feel some responsibility. They have nightmares. It bothers them. And then she asks him to take a leap of faith and to have faith in Superman.
Tomorrow.
What a beautiful thing.
See those who have suffered. The world needs to know what happened in that desert. And to know what he stands for. How far will he take his power? Does he act by our will? Or by his own?
Oh, I love that voiceover. You get her words layered over Lex and how he's just drawn to this power, to this, you know. In a lot of ways, he's not really working on his own power. He is just getting sucked in by the dream.
Know who you are. You're not a killer. A threat. I never wanted this world to have you. Be their hero, Clark. Be their monument. Be their angel. Be anything they need you to be. Or be none of it. You don't know this world a thing.
That line, like, you don't know this world a thing, it really shook me the first time I heard it. Because I've always kind of gone by that whole great power equals great responsibility.
Yep.
Like, oh, I can do this, thus I should do it. Mm-hmm. That kind of forced me to look at it differently.
Mm-hmm. It was really, I remember the arguments that broke out over that, and honestly, I agree. Like, that catchphrase, great power comes great responsibility, you go with that so much, and then you really realize that, like, in the end, a hero who does it just because he feels like he has to or should is not really the hero that you want. You want someone who decides he's going to do this, so that even when it gets hard, he doesn't start to begrudge it or be angry about it. He does it because he has chosen it, despite the hardship, despite the problems that it brings him, because he knows it's that important. And I agree. That is a heck of a line. It's a beautiful thing. I love this lady, and I'm so sorry that so much of her stuff got cut, because she's a lovely, lovely part. I mean, she did a great job at the beginning, and then you're like, oh, what the, you know, and she's starting to go, you know what, I don't care, I need to fix this. It's a beautiful thing. You go, girl.
Metal was developed by a private company.
What company?
LexCorp.
Lex Luthor.
They also had private security contractors at the desert compound.
Rude. Sorry.
James.
Thanks, buddy.
That makes sense. Everybody was arranged to bring Superman, but how would they know that he'd show up in the...
shortest road to Superman is a little path called Lois Lane.
Yep. And it's a beautiful thing. I love that realization where she's suddenly like, oh no, they know way more than they should, you know? This is very, very dangerous.
Mr. Keefe, Soledad O'Brien, in the moment. Quick question for you. You're heading in to meet with the senators. What will you tell them?
And they showed security examining the wheelchair just now, so like know, like they think there's no threat there.
Yep. And you're right, like, even in the theatrical version, that was there. So even though we didn't get that it was lined with lead and Superman could not have possibly detected the bomb in there had he even looked, you realize that it was disguised well enough to get all the way into that building. You know?
And yet later, people still assume that Superman, like,
didn't look.
Or knew about it.
Yes, or should have. And again, they react just like the public does in the film, just like humans do. Well, he's supposed to be an all-powerful, all-knowing God. How come he can't fix this? And,
Superman blames himself too. He's like, I didn't look for a bomb.
Exactly.
Like, dude, you wouldn't have seen it.
Exactly. You believed in the system. I love that though. Lois is like, ooh, I know her, and then KG Beast is like, ooh, I'm gonna look away. So you don't know me.
Never script. The parents are alive back home, but the girl's unconscious. He's been using the committee as his puppet.
Oh, you look at the terrified look on her face.
Oh yeah.
You know what, Mercy? You go in.
Poor Mercy.
My seat. So what you been up to? I'm just here to tell my story. That I was willing to finance a Kryptonian deterrent, but a certain junior senator from Kentucky decided to block it. Yes, the chair of the Committee on Superman is soft on
I
security.
kind of love that both the Senator and Superman come from like country stock.
Yep.
Exactly. And they really are pushing the idea that they come from a simple background and they really, how do I put it? They
know how to wrestle a pig.
Thank you. But they also are voices of reason, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So. Yep.
I do think Clark hovers above the Capitol for a little too long, though.
Honestly, I think if we know him, he's very nervous.
Yeah, that's true.
So I agree, okay. Yeah, but that would be me too. Like,
stand by the front door, I guess.
Oh, she biffs him with her shoulder. You go, lady. You know, he always continually brings up Kentucky and hot seat and all that kind of stuff. He's always making fun of her rural upbringing.
Yep.
You know, because he views it as less, which is really interesting. You're right, especially when she's from Kentucky and Clark is from Kansas.
Yeah, and something that just like occurred to me, it's like later in the movie you see the statues during the funeral scene that represent business and commerce, and then one that's agriculture and country land, and together they represent like balance and stuff.
Yep.
That's what you get later with Batman and Superman, but right now they're opposing each other just the same way Luthor and the Senator are opposing each other.
Exactly. Yep. Nice. Very nice. She's too pretty to die. Let her live.
No.
That's a brutal way to die.
Really
absolutely horrible.
Well, I love how this looks right here.
I am the press, excuse me. But and this so beautiful. The way he lands and everything. See all the signs. This is what got me in the trailer when they showed that. All the signs, aliens go home, and all that kind of crazy. I was like, oh my gosh.
There was one in there.
He's given us our world. We can't agree on anything. Of course, we wouldn't agree if somebody like this showed up. You know, that's when I was like, oh, this movie's going to be amazing. I can't wait. Because I really realized he was going to delve into some things that shows like this never delve into.
Yeah.
And you mostly see the ones who are anti-Superman,
but there's the Superman look. Yes. Yep, you get all of them.
And then there's like the Superman saves me.
Yep, and the Superman marry me, and the I love you. And,
there was one in there. It was the Superman shield, but instead of the S, it was a Nazi symbol. So I'm like, ugh.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's creepy. Wrong.
And I love this scene because he's just being so gentle with like the doors.
Exactly.
He's folding his hands.
He's so respectful. He believes in the system, and that's why I didn't look. You know, that's why I didn't scan.
And he kind of came in from the right again, going with that less powerful thing.
Good one.
We act by the consent of the governed. I have sat here before to say that shadow intervention.
And the way while he's looking at him too.
Yeah. Well, which is why it made it actually difficult in the theatrical to know whether or not he was aware of what was going to happen.
I know.
You know, it could have worked easily. He is a really awesome dual character in two different versions. And we all go every single time. The theater would go mutter, 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 mutter. Everybody was suddenly like, oh no, things are gonna go bad. It just
another Granny's peach tea thing. Yeah.
Together, can we?
That was the moment we all figured out oh shit, something's about to happen.
Exactly. We all go, oh no. And I've had people whisper in the theater next to me, lady, you better get out of there. Or, oh, he double crossed you. Or, oh my God, somebody went peach tea. And it just is like,
and it's
a very
Mercy's putting it all together.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, Rex isn't here.
And Zach makes it so uncomfortably quiet, too, that, you're not even prepared for what's about to happen.
Yep. And she's trying to speak, but she's also trying to think, and we've all been there where you're trying to speak and think at the same time, and it's not working. And even Clark's it's a little bit weird here.
She puts it all together.
She's like, oh my God.
And it's just a beat. See, and then he does. See, and that's the part that's wait.
At first, I'm like, this can't be real. They could not have just killed us.
Seriously, my wonderful, wonderful stepdaughter who I showed this to over Thanksgiving break, I sat her down, I'm like, you need to watch this! 3 hours in. This blew up, and she was like, she sat there with her jaw open for 3 minutes because she was like, so was aware of the effect this was going to have on how they viewed him, on how he viewed himself, I mean, look at that face. You just broke the man.
And and all that death he's surrounded by, too, he's...
Exactly. Again, he's just surrounded by death. Save the world, you're surrounded by death in Metropolis. You go save a girl in Mexico, you're surrounded by Day of the Dead figures, haunted by those deaths. Oh, look, here you are again. Everything you do brings death. Oh, what a perfect way to ruin Superman. And then Bruce tips over the edge. We all go, oh no.
And all that was being shown live on TV.
Now this right here is a scene they should have kept in.
Because otherwise it makes Clark... Because it would have helped a lot, You're right. To know that he was actively helping, he's bringing people out that he could find, and at the same time is taking in all of the damage and death and destruction, all the carnage.
Thank you.
He's thinking, he's like, I could have stopped this, and I didn't even
I should have stopped this. And this is exactly what all the naysayers say. Oh, we should have seen it, Do you think he's not saying that? He is. But he's just as human, quote marks, fallible, as the rest of us. He's not omniscient. He's not all-seeing. And their word, look at this. Dialogue without even speaking. Look at all their beautiful communication.
Yeah, these movies, they're not afraid of the, of vulnerability, of the power of silence. They don't need to throw in a quick line everywhere.
I had somebody tell me, well, it just didn't seem like there was much dialogue. It kind of killed it. And it was like, wow, are we as a society that afraid of silence that we can't handle moments just shown to us on screen? We got to have a line to go with it to explain it, Are we that scared of silence?
They wanted a joke thrown in there, like Marvel.
Yep. They eventually started making me uncomfortable when they started dealing with more and more serious things, but then they'd pop in a joke because it was jarring and it didn't fit, And
I recognize that I do that in my own life. Someone says serious, I get emotional, it's uncomfortable, I have to joke about it, put something down.
Yep. Okay, so now here's the cool thing. In this version, see that last check? It's got the capital exploding drawn on the check.
Oh, I didn't notice that before,
yeah. So if we know that Wally had no idea, then that means he also wasn't getting his checks.
Yeah.
Lex was intercepting them and sending them back with all the messages, especially that last one, because otherwise Wally would have known, and he didn't. So here again, this whole other version, he's not even just a pawn blown up to ruin Superman's image and stuff like that. He got screwed from the get-go because all his checks got intercepted, and he didn't even have that to live on. Could you possibly hoser him anymore? Poor Wally. He was really, really a horribly used pawn, and I just kind of want to smack Lex for that. It's like, dude, you got no heart whatsoever. That's not cool. You don't mess with somebody's disability checks.
Oh, that was terrifying.
So cool.
I love that. See, there isn't a single addition to this movie that I don't like.
Agreed. All of it was just extra good. Oh, except I admit, I could go without seeing Ben Affleck's bare butt. That's not what I saw.
Yeah, that wasn't necessary, but
I an awesome movie and not that. But
Yeah.
again, I know Zach, and it wasn't like, hey, let's give them some butt. You know, he's like, okay, see, look how he has to, you know, cleanse himself
Yeah.
to fit the
He's
persona
vulnerable.
onto himself. To go, exactly. And it's like, okay, but I still don't need to see his butt, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there's there's plenty of people
Very
online who
nice,
aren't
but
upset that they saw his
you know,
butt, so. Now, this is one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Just their
Oh, yeah.
their exchange right here.
I didn't see it though. Standing right there, I didn't see it.
Clark, there are people behind this.
I'm afraid I didn't see it because I wasn't looking. All this time, I've been living my life the way my father said. Running wrongs for a ghost. Thinking I'm here to do good.
God.
Superman was never real. Just the dream of a farmer from Kansas.
That farmer's dream is all some people have. It's all that gives them hope. This means something.
Did on my world. My world doesn't exist anymore.
But I like how none of us said a single thing throughout that entire scene.
You know, you can't ruin perfection by
I
your
know.
blabbing. You know? It's just so beautiful.
And it's just so
Especially the whole
emotionally
symbol
powerful,
talk
too,
and
yeah.
how, you know, it means hope. And he's saying that his world is gone. Hope is gone for him right now, you know. And
Yeah.
see, again, which is why his return is so important to me. You're in a horrible place, still choose to come back and deal with it anyway so that you can do good. That is the hero that I want.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love this. Every last bit of it's the same. All the carnage, all the wreckage. You can see where
Man of
Clark,
Steel,
you
yeah.
know, laser-eyed everything. Yeah, it's all exactly how it was. And everybody's like, "What's the water?" That was the fluid from the,
what's it called?
you know, the little pods, you know,
Yeah.
that they grow humans in, the cryo stuff.
The
you know, but yeah.
Genesis chamber.
Yes, thank you. You know, when they all shattered, that's what that is.
You know, a part of me still wishes that somehow they were able to get Clark's key back so he could talk to Terrell again. But I know that's probably not
Yeah.
going to happen.
Well, you know, the problem is, I think Jor-El's not even there, even if they
Yeah.
got his key back.
Well, I think Jor-El would still be in Clark's key, but not because Zod deleted him from the ship, you know?
Okay, you're right. He uploaded to the mainframe. Okay, that's fair. Fair enough. Look at all the light. See, look at all the light.
Yes, I would.
That's just really cool.
Emphasizes the red in his hair.
Yep.
Kryptonian archive contains knowledge.
That's Carla Gugino right there.
Good. Teach me.
Oh, here, yep.
Oh man. And I know he looks hot, and everybody's telling me this, but at the same time, it's just you look at how driven he is. Holy crap! You know, that's what it's like. Oh my gosh! Look at how far he is driving himself. How obsessed he is to get.
I mean, just a regular workout is hard enough. This is
Yes.
This is
Oh, and
like
look at the chains.
like he's ready
That was
for
my favorite.
war is what
We're
he's
like, oh, he's
doing.
tough.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's even tougher. And look at all the symbolic chains, the weights that drag him down continually. You know. Oh yeah, symbolism everywhere. I love this stuff.
And it shows some of his engineering ability.
That's why I think like this
he's
Bruce
very
Wayne
smart
is
and
smarter and better than I think Christian Bale. Like, Christian Bale's was fine, but like this shows
He
that
was
like
fine.
this Bruce Wayne is
in
more
a very
self-reliant.
short scene, you go, holy crap, this guy's really smart.
Yeah.
And he's really driven. And he works really hard. Okay. And he's really scarred, you know. Okay. So, yeah. It's a beautiful sequence to really get you in the idea of Bruce Wayne in this film.
Mm-hmm.
See, again, no words. No words. You don't need them. It's okay. We don't have to rely on dialogue, guys. It's all right. Just invest in the movie and let it show you what it wants to show you. Yay!
I was so happy to see that.
I know. Even I'm like, okay, I know some of these. I forgot what Cyborg was because I, you know.
Well, because
I'm
Cyborg
like,
up until recently hadn't really ever had a symbol, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but now he has one.
Man, you know, I just wasn't up with comic books enough, you know. But
Yeah.
then it was like, see, now I got them all. I got them all down now. So, also that dress is pretty. So.
June 22nd, 2015.
I was gonna say, really recently, he's been tracking her. I want to go.
So what has Diana been doing since she's been back? You know.
They said she was in Antiquities, so it makes sense.
She works with antiques at least recently.
Yeah,
Here we go. Our first touch of that theme.
I love watching him click every time they clicked on it. Even at the theater, I was like, oh, I need to see the Wonder Woman movie too. Like, it changed my whole perspective that fast.
I know.
Suddenly, I got to see this movie, and I need to see the next one, and the next one, and oh, look at all these people, I need to see their movies too. Suddenly, the whole DC EU was
it
I wanted
almost
them
like
all.
Exploded, yeah.
Yeah, when this was going to be the only one I really cared about, and never mind, I want them all, I need them all, give them to me. So, yeah.
Acknowledging presence.
Where's Zod? So desecrated.
Another great villain who was just doing what he thought was right by trying to bring best people back.
Such an awesome villain. Everything he did was purpose, and he believed in it. So cool. They have such amazing villains.
I know. The only DCEU villain I haven't loved is Enchantress. That's the only one. Like, of all these movies...
She's pretty basic in wanting to be worshipped, but other than that, I still really enjoy her. And look, it's this scene.
The Icarus reference. I'm a
exactly. And even Zod, he kind of respects how close he got. And as at the same time, he completely blasphemes his body by dripping his own blood on his face. Not on his chest, not on his forehead, on his freaking face, man, over his nose and mouth. Ew, disrespectful. But he respects that power that Zod had, how close he came. Oh, man, you close
you did
to the sun.
pretty good. But
Exactly.
now you're my stepping stone to get farther.
Exactly, and I will learn from you and do better, But you're right, exactly. Now you're my stepping stone because look, you came close, but you missed it. So such a cool scene, so many layers, way better than him just being like, oh crap, screw this alien, I'm going to use his body. You know what I mean? Like one dimensional is great, but look at all the 3-dimensional we get. Look how beautiful that is.
In the planning of this attack, this individual.
See, and always. Oh, look, hysteria.
And this would actually happen, and that's the scary thing, too.
Yes, it would. This is the thing. I shake my head and I go, humans are really stupid sometimes. We just are. And I love this. The boy is like, what? And she's like, no, hon, no.
And I love how, like, it shows that, like, the media is focused on the people who are crying for blood. But then, like, it shows, like, everywhere around the country, the world, there are people who are like, no, Superman's good.
And regular people who are going, wait a minute, and children who are being influenced and going, what? But he's supposed to be a hero. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many aspects to this.
And now here, Clark's going through another classic trope I love. He's going on a journey to the underworld, to a sacred place, a mountaintop.
Yes.
I love that.
It's beautiful. You're right. It's just beautiful symbolism. And poor Lois.
Let's see that picture of them right there on the side.
Yep. I know. It makes me sad. See it again. Reporter mode. She's like, okay, I'm going to
the light.
Look at that. Oh, what was it the one video that compared him to the picture of Napoleon? And I was like, holy crap! I didn't even realize that. That's awesome.
Oh, nice. That was fun.
Look at him ruling the world. Oh, it's beautiful. I'll have to send you a link. It's there's a lot of artwork that he pulls out and references, and it's like, okay, it's true. See, and this, I was like, wait, we saw pictures. What happened to those? Yeah. Oh, look, you didn't doctor that site.
Yeah, so this was all staged. Yeah.
This is what we call an orgy of evidence, people. Yeah.
And it's the small details that she noticed that made her go, holy crap, he didn't know he was gonna die.
Exactly. They make her so smart, and they make her a true reporter. That is truly Lois Lane, the reporter who thinks and is really, really intelligent. You go, lady, and always asking questions, always prying for more. So cool.
So right there, she's like, wait a minute.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's definitely like planted evidence here, but they forgot to get rid of.
Exactly. They forgot to get rid of the groceries.
Yeah, because why would you get groceries if you're going to die,
Exactly.
No, were any of you guys disappointed at all that Jenna Malone turned out to not be Barbara Gordon and just a Star Labs scientist?
Actually, no, because, like, if she had been, it would have been a severe loss to have her cut out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fact that it was
I was not expecting Barbara at all. So
made so much more sense.
Yeah.
See, and look at that.
See, I don't have a problem with it now, but at the time, because like
you could see it.
Yeah, because all of these like websites were saying, "Oh, it's confirmed she's Barbara," and then when it turns out she wasn't, it's like, "Oh."
Yeah, you're right. That's why nowadays they're like, "It's confirmed," and I go, we'll see. I don't even pay attention anymore, and I don't click any of them because it's like I'm not giving you my clicks. You guys suck. So yeah. And
but like anything DCEU related, I don't even click on anymore because like I already know like 90% of the article is going to be biased and just.
Yep, and it's just too much. Yep, too skewed. See what a beautiful. See, you're right though. Hero's journey at 1 minute with father. I just.
One thing, someone
so beautiful.
Someone brought this up too. Like in a way, this is almost like the fortress and solitude of his mind. You know?
Yes, exactly. Look at with all the gold. Exactly. That's what we always thought too. And it's such
and he's coming here for wisdom, essentially.
Yes, and that's what he needs right now. And he gets that common sense farmer wisdom from his father, who's so down to earth. You know.
And that was such a nice thing to see in the theater too, because none of us were expecting to see Kevin Costner back at all.
No, I didn't hear a peep about it. So
I know that was like the one thing. Like I'm so glad they kept secret too.
Yes,
because they've done something similar to this in Smallville, where like Jonathan was dead there too. So, but then he would like speak to him as like his ghost, kind of, and like.
Yeah.
So, like, even though like for some people it was confusing. Like when I saw the movie with my parents, my dad was like, "Wait, so is this like a dream? Like this isn't real, right?" And I'm like, "It's not real, but it's also is. It is confusing to explain."
It's in his head. It's in his head.
But still, it's an important scene nonetheless.
And that whole story, everything about the farm, and we all go, "Oh my gosh!" You know, see. You do the right thing, and it has intended consequences every time.
And another character who had trouble sleeping after the traumatic thing.
Yes, exactly.
There's good in this world. She was my world.
God, I love this movie.
So much.
And all these characters having trouble seeing the good in the world, what's worth fighting for.
Exactly.
And this movie really is kind of finding that thing of what it is you're fighting for and what it is that you're.
Yes.
You know,
and what is the good you see in the world?
Yeah.
Is the good power? Is the good honoring your dead parents?
Yeah.
Is the good, another person? Exactly. What is the good? What is this good?
So for
because we all need it in this world right now.
So
and this is so relatable. That's why I could relate to this movie so much. And this is such a beautiful scene.
I know.
I'm just gonna say that from now until it's over. This is such a beautiful scene.
Now, this is one thing that, like, ever since they had Jeffrey Dean Morgan cast as Thomas Wayne, a part of me has always wanted to see him as Thomas Wayne Batman from Flashpoint.
Yes.
So cool.
But at the same time, like, in this scene where he's like, "I'm older now than my father ever was," they would have to have Jeffrey Dean Morgan as like an 80-year-old Batman if they were ever to do that.
Legacy.
It's so beautiful.
My father said.
I love how they come back to the father. And he says that I'm older than my father ever was. He's outgrown any wisdom his father could have given him. And he can't. He doesn't have access to anything anymore. And
skills.
Everything he knows, this is it. And especially, I love how he says this is about the world. This is my legacy. He realizes it's that important. He's probably going to die doing this, but this is the one good that he found. This one good will protect the world, and then by the end, it's about I'm going to protect the world, but I'm going to do it in a different way. And it's just it all comes about the world. You see the birth of the Justice League right here when he talks about the world. It's not just Gotham anymore. It is the world. Great chorus story.
I love this little bit right here.
I love her quote marks.
I know.
Shut up, lady.
Can't point a finger.
I'm not pointing
and Martha's like,
look, 10 fingers, see?
There is going to be.
Oh, my son. That was me too, honey. I get you.
Yeah, headlights suddenly turn on in an alley. You know you're in trouble.
She's smart too, because she didn't even bother with the second bag. It was like, nope.
And like, she's been raising an alien basically since it was a baby, so she's probably been on the lookout for little strange
she is
cars
very
for years.
Yep. And all the Easter eggs in here. Holy crap.
I know.
And my husband originally, he was like, I was worried that metal suit was going to be Batman's suit the whole movie, and that was just a suit, and he says, I didn't like it. It was too clunky, and I was so happy when we showed up to the movie, and this is a specially reinforced suit to help keep him alive while he fights an alien with super strength. Okay, yeah, I can get that.
And I still get in little fights with people about that. Like, his suit was too big. I'm like, he was fighting Superman. But
what is he supposed to do? Yeah.
I love it. No, he's just supposed to be hero enough that he can take a pounding and not die. And people will go with that unrealistic idea, but they can't go with the unrealistic idea that two people have the same mom's name, Okay, I don't know. I just don't understand the world, Humans are stupid.
Wait until we tell them all Aquaman's death is Thomas.
Yep.
Stop ringing. Not answering. Go away.
One thing I say too, I love the new Batman theme from Junkie XL.
Yeah. It's nice. It is really nice. See, and here, I always love this, because even in the theatrical version, she comes down the escalator and that dude comes on behind her, and I was like, I don't trust the dude behind you, Lois, and then they're singing every time we say goodbye and the music, and I'm like, it's so perfectly put together.
Also, the song that's playing in the background, this every time we say goodbye, this guy, he quotes it when he's with Martha. Like, he's like, every time we say goodbye, I die a little.
Yes, he quotes the line, and Martha rolls her own.
Yep.
And it was actually really brutal. The music is creepy, and then they just throw her in there. Holy crap! That's a bit scary. And they're all like, she's such a damsel in distress. She didn't fight back. You know what? Women can be strong and not have to have ninja fighting skills. It's okay. There's lots of different kinds of strength. We've been sold on the wrong formula, and everybody seems to think that's the only one. No! Sorry, go ahead, Cass.
I was just pointing out, because, I've referenced this so many times already. Cop family. I know martial arts. In that kind of situation, you can only do so much when you're up against multiple assailants.
Yep.
And they have a man and stuff. There's almost nothing you can do, even if you know what you're doing when it comes to a fight.
You're totally right. And they're not going to give you that option, because they're going to move it fast and quick like they did. Throw you in there. They didn't take their time. Yeah. The height of his power, though, I love how they have the theme so big and loud here. So big and loud. He is at the height of his power.
And all the wordplay, he's having fun with her.
He's such a punk. And in a lot of ways, he cheapens Clark's low nickname for her by doing the whole playing low in the morning. That's freaking from Lolita. Ew! You just cheapened it and made it dirty. Prick. So, yeah. Bad. Lex is bad.
This whole rooftop sequence with him and with him and Lois and him and Clark, I just think is some of the best scenes in the entire movie, I think.
Yep, totally agree. Being right there where she just steps into his face and is like, I've proven what you've done. She's awesome. She's strong.
And round they go to find someone. Wrong category, boy, no. Yes, you lose triangle equality. The shortest distance between any 2 points is a straight path. And I believe the straightest path to Superman is a pretty little road called Lois Lane.
Poor Lois is always falling. See, I like how they both just take a second to look at each other.
Iconic. It's so beautiful.
You came back. You came back.
Love this entrance.
Why do we have problems up here?
He's so angry.
I know.
The problem of evil in the world. The problem of absolute virtue.
I'll take you in without breaking you, which is more than you deserve.
The problem of you on top of everything else. You above all. Because that's what God is. Horus, Apollo, Jehovah, Kal-El, Clark, Joseph, Kent.
Ooh.
See, what we call God.
See, for me, that was the moment where I'm like, oh shit, Lex has been...
God is.
He's been playing this out for a while.
No man in the sky intervened when I was a boy to deliver me from daddy's fist and abominations.
Yeah.
I figured out way back. God is all powerful. He cannot be all good. If he is all good, then he cannot be all powerful. And neither can you be. They need to
Right
see
there.
the
His motivation's right there.
Yep.
Exactly.
with their eyes.
His whole spiel is just,
The blood
oh.
on your hands.
Yep.
What have you done?
And tonight, they will.
And this whole all-powerful, can't be all good thing.
Have a date.
Exactly.
Like, that gets kind of proven later on when Clark gets killed.
But it did not take
Yeah.
It's like showing, oh, he's not all-powerful. So is he all good?
Yep, he is.
Fight him. And you will battle him to the death. Black and blue. Fight night. The greatest gladiator match in the history of the world. God versus Son of Krypton versus Bat of Gotham.
You think I'll fight him for you?
Yes, I do. I think you will fight for that special lady in your life.
She's safe on the ground. How about you?
Close, but I am not talking about Lois.
No!
Yeah, until it gets bad there.
God, look at
Clark
him
is
at
almost
this.
amused, and it's kind of cute, I gotta say. Oh, but no, it's not funny.
Martha. The mother of a
Emphasizing her name.
I know.
Yep.
Foreshadowing. That's right. Death by fire.
And look at that, all the power he has just with pictures. He brings him to his knees, man. You don't need force.
I don't know. I would not let them tell me.
And Luthor, he's so powerful right here, because
If you fly away,
Yep.
even though Superman technically has power, he can't use it right now, because Martha is in danger.
Exactly. I love how angry he is, though, and how he has to make it go away, you know?
there we go.
That's a lot of control.
And now God bends to my will.
Right. Just the look on Clark's face here.
Now the cameras are waiting at your shit for the world to see the holes in the holy. Yes, the Almighty comes clean about how dirty he is when it counts. To save Martha, bring me the head of the bat. Mother of God! Look at the
Is the wordplay there?
He's such a punk.
Countless.
Excellent bad guy, though.
I'm curious. I'm assuming that Martha works in Smallville, right?
I missed that.
Yeah, so they dragged her like hours away just for this.
Yeah, pretty much.
So much for an hour.
Superman's been looking for her.
Hands up for Baldwin is on the scene. Brooke, you're live on the air. What do you see?
There's something happening at the ship. Sending massive power surges. They created a barricade around this containment center, and we're trying to get a little bit closer here to find out what's going on. It is absolute chaos. You can see that lightning, those surges of electricity, they seem to be getting stronger by the minute. Daily Planet.
Lois? I have to go to Gotham to convince him to help me.
Or yes,
No one stays good in this world.
Yes, they do.
Oh.
They do stay good.
But see, look how close Lex came to actually breaking him. You know what I mean? To actually breaking him. Like, that is why he is Superman's arch nemesis.
What's happening on the streets of Metropolis tonight? The helicopters surrounding the area, and I don't know if you can see those bolts of lightning and
It doesn't belong to you.
It's like, does too.
It is you.
He's so dramatic. That would be me, though. I would capitalize the is too. I would.
So even with a simple photograph, you already can tell, like, you're already invested in her as a character. You want to know more.
Yes. Exactly. I'm like, oh my. I need this. Oh, we're so close, guys, too. Yay! I love this. I love how they show them clicking every time. They always show them click.
Red streak.
You know, even just comparing these scenes to like the teasers released yesterday and today, you can see the difference in like the power. Like here, Barry just does a quick back and forth. In the teaser, there's like particles and
a lot more detail.
Like an air around him. Yep. So cool. I think I just love his face. He's like, take that, buddy.
No, this is also cool, but also kind of terrifying when you think about it. Like, look, just seeing those white eyes slowly coming towards you.
Yeah, and it's like, whoa, they really give him power. It's so nice
really
to see
do.
him. He's not a joke, guys. He's not.
I'd be legit terrified
the
of him.
ocean itself is terrifying, so the seas should be pretty kind of terrifying.
Yes, yes, he should.
Damn, just look at that power.
Yep, see that? I was like, oh my. Oh, look at him go. I was just checklisting movies. Did you see that one? Did you see that one? And also that one?
Have any of you seen Terminator 2?
Yes.
That's Miles Dyson right there.
Yes, it is. I have always loved this actor. I forget his name regularly.
I think it's funny how they bring him in. Like he essentially created the Terminator. Yeah, here he is again creating another cyborg.
I love this though.
Another box.
Suspending all clinical protocol. U.S. Gov Object 1982 is successfully activated.
You have to be desperate to send protocol and turn strange artifacts.
You know, I never knew anything about Cyborg at all. And just this tiny clip, I was like, oh, I need to see this. You know, like, suddenly it's, who's this guy? And I'm interested in him. And then the Justice League teasers just made it worse. Like, you know, all the trailers, I was like, oh, I like him. So, I'm here for it.
Well, speaking of Cyborg, they literally like just released his little teaser for like today, like a little bit ago.
Yes, I know. While we're watching this, that's
I know.
Okay. I'll go catch up.
We'll get to it.
Okay. See, it's not for a story, and Perry still has a heart.
Jenny, get her a chopper to Gotham. And forget the heliport. Put it on the goddamn roof.
Which she does not do.
Perry comes through when it counts every time, and he makes me so happy. Got a good job. You want to go that direction? Are you sure? Maybe we should steer clear. Okay.
Just a little thing, the chopper dude like went out to get the door for her.
Yep.
Just noticed that.
What a nice guy. Oh gosh, Bruce.
I love how he tries to connect with him as Bruce and not Batman first.
Yes, he does, exactly. And he's way too focused. Look how in his mind he is. Just back up a little bit. He's not listening to a word. He does not care.
You don't understand. There's no time.
It's funny, they filmed this on a slant because Henry is shorter than Ben to make them look like they're the same height.
Just a tiny tap, man. That's just so awesome. Dude! That's some heavy firepower there.
You can take it.
Oh, we totally can. I'm just kind of amazed at Bruce. Like, alright, and then we'll try this, and then we'll try that. See, and right there, they lingered on his eyes red, and that's just such a cool image, you know, and you really see how scary he could truly be as a god who, you know, doesn't care about humanity.
And they use fire so well in this film.
They really do.
Ow! Yeah, he needs the big suit, guys. I don't care if it's bulky.
Like, he would have been dead already if, you know.
Exactly, yeah.
And one of the things, like, when Clark's about to say this, like, when Clark says, like, if I wanted it, you'd be dead already, because it's just like, Clark's not trying to kill him, he's just trying to get him to listen.
little bit dazed for a second there, Bruce.
All good. Give me a sec. I can get back up.
There you go. I wanted it. You be dead already.
See,
It's true. Besides his incredible tactics and planning and forethought and knowledge of the battle.
I'm like a Clark right here. He's like, does he really think he can get away?
Clark takes it easy, and he does not actually want to kill him.
He's like, nope.
We're all like, oh, he cut it. Oh no. Uh-oh. No. Oh, it's almost painful watching him, though. I'm like, oh, that really hurts, obviously.
And that's like only the second time Superman's ever felt physically vulnerable.
Yep.
Watching him suffer, it hurts.
And like this scene is honestly like, I love the movie, but it's hard to watch the fight honestly because it's so brutal.
It is. He is so brutal, and he is so cruel in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? He is out for one thing. He's got to kill this guy, and he does not care about the pain or anything else he's doing. It hurts to watch, you know. And Clark is still trying to take it easy, except now he's really pissed. So I don't blame him at all.
I love them charging at each other in this one little bit. The little curl, you know, there it is.
That little part with him gritting his teeth and his teeth sticking out reminds me so much of comic panels, you know, because that's what they do when they hurt him, especially Batman. Rip that wall!
I love this right here.
Oh, here comes one of the favorites.
Yeah.
Those punches are doing nothing.
And it reads like hell. I'm so happy.
He's like, oh shit.
Whoa there.
He's like, sorry, I didn't mean it.
I didn't mean to upset you. You know, did that upset you? It's just, this is such an amazing fight, especially because this is punching. You see,
because it's not like a pretty fight. It's not something you like look forward to seeing necessarily.
That's why a lot of people don't watch
full on brutal.
It is, and that's what it is. You know, neither one of these guys is where they should be. You know, in terms of goodness. And, you know, Clark's the closest, but he's really upset, and I don't really blame him. The water is fascinating, especially dripping from his clenched fist.
Yes.
It's really interesting. Oh. Ow. So crucial to see part of his face too.
I know.
And for the Bruce Wayne.
That hurts right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rude.
The way he grabs him by the hair too, just.
I know, I would say, because you just gotta inflict a little bit more. In a lot of ways, Bruce.
That Easter egg in the graffiti right there.
Yeah.
Wait, what did it say?
Who watches the Watchmen, or who guards the Guardians?
Yep.
It's a huge thing.
Well, there was a billboard earlier in the movie where it says the end is nigh, and I think that was the Easter egg for Watchmen too.
Yes. Look at the detail here. You see the rat scurrying right there behind the railing. You know, like, all of that building is real, so to speak.
Joe.
Everything about this, though. Bruce really he represents the world in a lot of ways, you know. He just pounds on him, and doesn't seem to care, doesn't view him as a person.
I bet your parents taught you that you need something. That you're here for a reason. It's taught me a different lesson. Dying in the gutter for no reason at all. They tell me the world only makes sense if you force it to.
That's like Bruce Wayne in a nutshell, right there.
And like going back to the Excalibur reference earlier.
Yeah.
Like in lots of versions of that in the Arthurian stories, like Lancelot turns Excalibur against Arthur, like this moment, and then later Arthur and Mordred take each other down.
Yep.
You know, it's funny, like, 'cause you're making the point about coming from the left and right earlier. On the column over there, it said in graffiti left, and that's where Bruce is coming from.
Oh, that's interesting. Nice.
Give him a little cut to let him know that it hurts him.
Yeah.
And here comes the most divisive scene in the entire movie.
No, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Well, see, look, he's gurgling.
He's trying to say Kent
out. You know, he's trying. So, see, if Bruce looks behind him, is it a trick? I love this whole scene.
His face is just slowly falling apart.
Exactly. This scene is the one that haunted my dreams for days after I first saw it. This is the scene that mattered the most. I don't care what anybody says. It's beautiful.
And especially because it's not like... I hate when people say, oh, it's because they have their moms have the same name, all of a sudden they're best friends. No, that's not it at all. It's like...
Exactly.
He hears the words, save Martha, and he's like, oh my god, like, what is this?
Exactly.
Like, it makes him relive like a traumatic experience. Like that's his PTSD, you know?
Exactly. I love that his dad whispered it too, and right there, just showing her eyes.
Why did you say that name?
Yeah, and I know like people like to make fun of triggers and stuff, but when something like brings you back to a vulnerable, scary moment like that, you kind of fall apart.
Yeah, like that's why for me, like
angry,
as someone who's lost a parent, and I completely feel for Bruce. Like if someone were to say that about my mom, like well, first anytime I hear my mom's name, I'm immediately like drawn to whoever said it, you know. So it's like I just.
Yep. No, I get you. It's so beautiful.
There's so much more to it than people give it credit for.
There's way more to it. And there's something very important about the fact that it's Lois that gives the answer.
Yeah.
You know? She's the information person, you know, this has been this entire movie. And I love that he gets pissed, because if she hadn't come in, he would have gotten angry and eventually just killed him anyway, because he was angry. You know, when I get scared, when, you know, somebody jumps around a corner and scares me, something like that, I get mad. That's exactly what happens. Okay.
You wanted your life for her.
Yeah, like having him stand over a man whispering to save for Martha, with a woman coming in to save him. It's like in that moment he realized he was Joe Chill, or whoever killed him in this.
Exactly. Yep, he's the monster that he was always fighting.
You know, it's funny because on the
he's making a promise.
There's so much stuff on the columns behind, like as Clark was getting up on the column behind him, it said Dawn, and right before Bruce is about to strike Clark, on the column behind him it said Joe.
That's cool.
See, and it's not like right there they're like, oh, let's team up and let's
look at their conversation. See, it's so beautiful. It's just so wonderful. I swear.
Lost away.
There's Alfred.
I'm sorry for listening, but I've tracked the Russian's phone to a warehouse near the port. You're locked onto it. I don't think you, Alfred. No, sir, you don't.
I get the feeling Alfred listened to that entire fight in silence.
Now, her whole thing with the spear, I still don't get why people get so mad about it.
That thing can literally kill the man she
when people
loves.
want to demonize the female character, they'll find the reasons. You know, if you look hard enough, you'll always find a reason.
Yeah.
And that's all I could figure, because it makes perfect sense. This thing almost killed her boyfriend. Yeah, you're gonna get rid of it.
Yeah.
You know? Have no idea some other fool just played God and created a giant beast. You know?
Yeah, like how the hell is she supposed to know? She's literally did not leave that building.
Exactly.
And it kind of makes her the lady of the lake. She puts the powerful weapon into the water and then extracts it later for the Arthur figure to use.
Exactly. And yes, there's been much written about that too, and it's a beautiful thing, and it's true. It's very true. And I think it's beautiful. Yeah, when you want to hate something or someone, you can find reasons to do it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, makes perfect sense to me.
Yes, did you? Ah, right. Mode.
In grown mode? It just makes me laugh. Oh, okay, we do this every day.
Well, is showing me 2 dozen hostiles on the 3rd floor. Why don't I drop you off on the 2nd?
This is when you really get to see the true Batman in action, and it's such a thing.
This is like hands down the best Batman action sequence in any movie.
Yes. And they saved it for the end, you know, where you really get to see what this Batman is all about, his fighting style and everything. Best action scene for Batman ever. It's so awesome. And he's so I don't want to say savage, that's the word, savage.
Yeah.
He's so savage. And it's kind of a beautiful thing, because Batman has always had that restrained savagery, anger about him. And here it just... Also, he's hella smart.
I like how they all still think he's down below.
That guy's still shooting in the hole. See, that's my favorite. Where is he?
And these guys are mercenaries. They have at least a little bit of experience.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just, that would be me, though. I'd be shooting in the hole. I'd have no idea.
Oh.
Ow. And ow. Savage, see?
And then this part right
but
here.
I'm okay with it.
Never use a grenade in close quarters.
You pulled the pins, your own fault. Oh, bugger.
Man, I love this scene so much.
So silent, too. You ever noticed that, besides the death sequence, all of his dreams and his parents is silent. He never speaks for a very beautiful scream. He's always silent. And here, when he's Batman, he is silent. The only time he ever does anything is when he gets stabbed, and then later answers the question. Like, ow, it just hurts too much.
It almost makes you wonder how he operated with Robin.
Yeah.
Oh god, I know.
Traditionally, Robin is the talkative one.
Yeah. He is the silent one. Oh, it's just amazing. You just watch him go, and all that restrained anger, you know, pounding on that guy. Holy crap! Also, his helm, you know. Sorry, I'll stop talking.
Now, I just want to know, like, after seeing this fight, how is this fight going to be with Deathstroke?
Go ahead.
Ooh. You don't stab Batman.
I know, you just made him angry. No. Ow.
And look at this guy right here. He's like, no.
You got me good. It's fine. I'll just sit here. Oh. He's a really terrifying force. It's awesome.
And then when he comes through the wall right here, oh my god, it's like, that's terrifying.
I know.
Martha, she's terrified, but she knows something's going on. It's
and then, you know, the bad guys are getting beat up, so maybe it's helpful. But if that's Clark, I'm gonna have a word with him. Yeah.
I'll kill her! Believe me, I'll do it!
I believe
you. He saved Martha.
I'm afraid of yourself.
I figured.
She is so nonsensical, you know. It's just like, sure, I grew up with an alien son. It's fine.
One thing that's kind of awkward about this whole thing is that, like, have you guys ever heard of that movie or seen the movie Hollywoodland?
No.
So basically,
No, but I heard that about Ben in that.
Yeah, well, because in that movie, Ben plays George Reeves, the actor who played Superman back in the 50s. And
Yes.
in that movie, George Reeves dates Diane Lane's character.
Oh, no kidding. Is that the movie that they were together?
Yeah.
Okay, that's funny.
So it's him, like, as Superman, and it's really weird.
That's trippy.
Out of time.
I love this scene.
Me too.
30 seconds to animation.
That'll be the cook. Excuse me. Gotham roast. Well done.
Oh, he's
Hello. Break the bad news.
I'd rather do the breaking in person.
Oh, so badass.
Great line. I know. It's perfect.
You'll learn.
You'll learn.
I'll learn. I don't hate the sinner. I hate the sin.
10 seconds to
And yours, my friend, is existing.
8.
I cannot let you win. I gave the bat a fighting chance to do it, but he was not strong enough. So, man won't kill God.
2. 1.
The devil will...
I get the feeling that Zach cut that line, your sin is existing, because he felt like, it didn't need to be said because the audience was smart enough to figure it out themselves, and then you have everybody going, but what's his motivation? I just don't get it.
Getting reports there are total blackouts in the north and the northwest of the city.
Like, all this stuff, like, Lex is going on about, like, oh, the people are looking up to him, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And he's, like, in many ways, he's Superman's, like, biggest believer.
Yep. It's true.
Born to destroy you. Your doomsday.
People can say all they want about how Doomsday looks. I think the CGI on Doomsday looks incredible. Like, look how realistic this looks. Wait a second.
Exactly.
Like, look at this.
And I think that there's still a little bit of Zod in him because he just really hates Superman, and every chance he gets, that's the one he's pounding on.
I love how Superman stops Doomsday from killing Lex right here, too.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
It like brings it back earlier to how God never stops Lex
Exactly.
beating him.
Exactly. From his fist and abomination. See, oh look, there's a fist on an abomination, and somebody just saved you. Yeah. See, that's my Superman. That's him, right there. He moves amazingly fast for something so large and ugly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. On the part where we're getting to here in a moment where he hits him with the names of the fallen.
Exactly! Joe, symbolism! Symbolism! But here, he looks up at the god statue, and no. and Clark is tiny in comparison to both of them.
Yep.
And once again, he's right.
Yep. Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah, going to show that Clark is not this god figure that they've made him out to be.
No, exactly. And yeah, right. And then he crushes him with the names. I remember even the first watch, I was like, oh my gosh. God, symbolism! Yep, shatters his own monument. This is not who he is. He's just a guy. It's a beautiful, beautiful symbolism.
And a few months later, the Justice League will be there.
Also, he does not like helicopters.
Nope. And I like how it kind of all comes full circle because the battle that Clark and that Clark and Zod had at the end of Man of Steel was on the still in construction LexCorp Tower.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Are you hurt, ma'am?
I'm okay.
You're gonna be alright, okay?
She's like, I know. Wave at my new friend. Bye. I love you. I love her so much.
Had the little wave.
Tony, actually, just moments ago, thankfully, the workday is...
Diana, who's been vaguely watching this issue fold out on the news.
It's fascinating because I kind of want to know what she was thinking the whole time she's watched Superman emerge and try to be a hero and then slowly get beaten down. And I'm sure at some point she's going, just go ahead and quit, kid. It's okay. I understand. It's okay. Just quit. But he doesn't.
Like, she gave up, like, about 100 years ago after the World Wars.
Yep.
Now she's watching these new heroes emerge.
Yep.
Oh.
She has to think that, well, they'll learn in time, you know. But eventually it's like, no, okay, you know, I'm going to have to do something. I'm going to get involved, you know. It's a beautiful thing. This is so cool. I mean, look at it.
It really is.
The whole energy surge and everything just peels buildings back.
Just lost connection with Metropolis.
And I love how they brought in like actual like real life news people like Anderson Cooper and
really
Jon
cool.
Stewart, and, you know.
Gets rid of some of that fourth wall.
Yes. I agree, Alfred. There are no words, you know. And that's a beautiful thing because she left the place.
You know what's funny?
So it wasn't him that did it.
If you think about it, if the government didn't send that nuke after Superman, this whole movie would have been over a lot sooner.
We can go straight to Key Red, Mr. President. Not yet. You crazy? They're high enough that we can nuke them with no casualties.
Sir, one casualty.
Nukes don't solve anything.
Superman.
Ever.
God have mercy on us all.
Patrick Wilson.
He is hot.
He's hot. Redbird.
Yeah, I'm Major Ferris, though. It's like, what the heck, you guys? You know, I cannot believe you just made that choice. Okay, you know.
After the attack 2 years ago, like, yeah, they're going to be frightened of this new, big, terrifying creature.
I guess it's true. I just hate that they're like, sure, we'll blow up Superman too. It's fine, you know. And I'm like, hey! In the end, they didn't mind turning on him. He wasn't one of them. That bothers me so much, you know.
And then Clark holds the creature Doomsday still so that the nukes can hit him.
Exactly.
Yep.
And he
having no
knows.
idea that he can survive this.
Exactly. He just sits there and takes it. That's a hero. That's my hero. That's my Superman. I love that moment of Bruce, just that moment of realization. He's done a really nice job.
Projectile 1, impact, Strikers Island, east of Metropolis.
That's uninhabited.
Projectile 2. No apparent re-entry.
Projectile 2. Superman, Mr. President. Projectile 2 is Superman.
Sir. It's moving.
Yeah, there's a problem here.
And that's classic Doomsday.
Just made him stronger.
Yep. And it's really interesting how he does it, how he kind of sheds and then, you know, grows through things, and then does the energy burst. That's really cool.
And they made sure to point out that the island he landed on is uninhabited.
Yep.
For, you know, the critics.
They worked so hard, you know,
They
and then
really
instead
did.
it was like, no, we'll just trash it. It was like, you know, thanks, guys. Oh, see, I love that. The hand.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we hit it, we make it more powerful. We can't attack.
What are you saying, Calvin?
I'm saying it's unkillable.
I love how none of them are even aware of what Batman's doing either.
Master Wayne, are you receiving me? It's Kryptonian. Only kryptonite weapons can kill it. You might, if you had any left.
Oh, the sass, Alfred, I love you.
You know, I think this is the last time we see Alfred for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, okay.
Back to the city. Back to the kryptonite.
When you compare that scene just now where he's shooting at Doomsday to that scene in the teaser yesterday where he's shooting at the or whatever, like he looked so calm in the teaser, and here he's like kind of freaking out, like, oh boy, even a worse Kryptonian and the other Kryptonian's gone.
Exactly. Well, and I love Alfred's comment, the whole, well, you know, if you hadn't wasted all your kryptonite weapons on the good guy, you might have a few left, you know, so...
Oh, those seatbelts.
Important, though.
Oh, shit.
Here
same,
comes...
Batman, same!
Superman.
Oh, they gave her the best entrance ever!
Woo! What is it?
I love it.
God, I love her theme so much.
Oh, God, I know. Honestly, I was like, I mean, I've grown up with hearing about Wonder Woman, but I never really was invested in much and knew much about her, and she showed up, and I'm like, I'm in love. I love Wonder Woman forever. I support Wonder Woman. It's awesome.
Almost every single time I saw the movie, she got a huge round of applause almost every single time I saw it.
You're right. People cheered, they were screaming, and it was so cool.
Yeah, that scene when she came in the first time, I like had to go back in my seat, and I felt like something had punched me.
I know, I know the feeling.
Visceral, so cool.
And then Superman comes flying in with that swoop.
I'm like, it's so beautiful.
Now we're back to Lois, the Lady of the Lake.
Yep, see, there she goes. All right, then, well, I'll get it.
Finest beer.
This thing, this creature, seems to feed on energy.
This thing.
Such an iconic shot. Ugh.
My world.
The Trinity.
I know. Who would have thought a few years back that we would have had the Trinity all in one movie?
Yeah!
Oh, I love this so much.
Look, it's my Trinity! Yeah, I get very excited.
I thought Batman has to hide under a rock.
I'm not gonna cover, dude. But them, see, I love them leaning in. That is such a cool move, and it looks
really
just like
is.
a compass every time. But it's a strong fit here, guys. The thing is, they all whine about her being trapped under there and being a damsel in distress. Guys, she would have been crushed if she wasn't in the water. Oh, and back!
Beautiful.
Amazon!
I mean, I would
awesome.
prefer she used her lasso more than she used the sword, because that's what the original Wonder Woman was all about. Less weaponry, more tools.
Okay.
But the way they have her fight in these films is just beautiful.
I love how she fights, you know. Going for the feet, you know, all the whole teamwork and everything. It's just a beautiful thing. She does the most damage to him, man, you know. Don't throw cars, that's bad manners. See? And then he's like, oh, Superman, I don't like you, you know? And then he's got to kick him, like, I'm sorry, Zod is still in there. He doesn't like Superman. Poor Batman.
And he's just watching.
And it was,
he's like, I'll join you guys in a second.
When watching from Batman's point of view, that I was like, this is like a battle between gods.
Exactly. And he's smart. He's like, you know, I'm going to have to wait until I can actually be useful, because right now I can't.
You can't really do anything, yeah.
And that's okay, you know. See, he was very smart. He waited for the right moment.
Poor Lois.
I was gonna say, you're just trying to help, man. Oh,
that's a beautiful shot.
He eat fishes, baby.
You can see Clark's using his all, like his, because he is.
He's doing everything he got.
But once again, he's on the right, and Doomsday's beam thing is just so much bigger.
You're right. I never noticed that. That is so cool. See, look at this. It's a year later, and I'm still like, oh man, I missed that. And I don't give a crap what anybody says. Somebody you love is trapped in there, you're going to stop in the middle of a fight.
Yep.
Everybody can fight me.
Yeah.
Plus
Wonder Woman kind of has it.
And then he just casually just rips that off. That's my boy. they talk without words, guys. It kills me every time. I have feelings about these guys. Oh.
And then just like in Man of Steel, he willingly puts himself in a situation where he's going to something that weakens him.
Exactly. Thank you. Oh, see? Evade! Oh! He's still awesome! And very good. Oh, fudge. Ow. I love the music builds to this so much.
Oh
too.
God, I know.
Right there, it builds, and I'm just like, oh gosh, it's building too much, and very, very, very suspenseful. He saved him twice. Damsel in distress, saving her twice. He got more distance than I would have.
Here comes the heartbreak.
No, I'm already not ready.
Her little smirk.
I know, and that was improv too. That was all Gal.
That was Gal. I know. I love it. I love it so much.
But she's.
I love how she fights. I love the verbalization, the way she does it. How she's very economical and smart in her movements. Her fighting style is so Amazonian, so different. I love it.
Oh, here we go.
I can't watch. I know.
As soon as he said that, I knew what was going to happen.
We all knew it. It was like, oh, you wouldn't dare.
No, Clark, you can't.
And she knows.
This is my world.
No, Clark, don't.
You are my world.
No.
And it's the same theme from the end of Man of Steel too. So.
Diana holds Doomsday with her last.
Bruce finds the perfect moment because right there he would have energy exploded and probably taken her out.
Yep.
You know, or at least knocked the lasso loose. You know, but he did that. See, it's perfect teamwork. And Bruce was smart. He waited for exactly the right moment. Yep. Well done, Bruce.
And then Soups comes in with
and there's our Superman.
Oh.
Such a wonderful hero, I swear. I don't get people who don't like this one.
I know. Well, apparently they all want him to smile during all this.
So Arthur and Mordred slay each other.
Yep.
And this is like a parallel to how Jor-El was killed by Zod in Man of Steel too.
Yep. Well, and it's beautiful because look, he tries to pull it out. You guys all know this, but I gotta say it anyway. I have to. He's trying to pull it out, and then he
pulls himself
I'm
further
not gonna
in.
do that. You know, he willingly does it. He doesn't just get killed. He kills himself to get this done. You know. Oh, but that's not a hero. That's not my Superman. Really? That's mine. Every time, that is mine.
Same scream from Man of Steel too.
Yep. It's beautiful.
And the music and the light.
It's beautiful. I know. And how they both go out together and
such a beautiful scene.
Okay, I'm done now. And just that look and the hole in his chest, I was like, no, you did not just kill my Superman.
A very Renaissance pose there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The amount of artwork that has been brought up and compared to these frames, it's just, you could tell. There's so much of it integrated, and it's beautiful. It makes it so beautiful.
And now Batman's on the right side of Superman.
Oh my gosh, you are awesome. I can't believe I never put that together. That's so awesome. This is why I love hanging around other people who love this stuff so much, because then I get other tidbits that I didn't figure out. Oh, God, Diana knows.
Diana.
I know. She's like, I'm so sorry, honey.
If Steve Trevor dies in the Wonder Woman movie, I'm going to cry.
I just am so afraid he's going to, but it makes sense that he would. Why else would she turn her back, you know? And I'm going to love him so much. I can tell already. I'm like, this is going to hurt, but
I'm going to... right here, where they pass him along.
Yep, this is the descent. Yep. And she's buff. Oh, okay. She just, like, biceps him down. Nice.
Gently to Lois.
Oh.
I was legit crying when I saw this for the first time.
I honestly, everybody was always so still, you know, just weeping. My daughter wept next to me. It was like, I know, you know, you just, you can't not be affected, or if you're not, you know, you're not human. Oh.
Diana, this is like the first fight she's been in for decades.
Exactly, and
it's technically
got a man
victory,
down,
but
yep, but you lose people on the way.
She's been watching this hero for 2 years.
Exactly.
Probably heard about the bat once or twice.
And I love how like Bruce emerges from the light.
Thank you. I was gonna say that. It's almost like a rebirth, isn't it? He just came through the portal with fire
And I love how
behind
like
him
the ray of light shining on Superman as he's
with the beautiful light, and and
Lois being the emphasis.
Yep.
You know, it's funny because there
Our
was
history geek loves this.
in Man of
so
Steel.
beautiful. And they're all looking to the right. I always wondered why Diana looked away, but she's looking to the right too. Oh my god! You guys are awesome.
You know, it's like also in Man of Steel when Clark was born, there was a ray of light shining on him as he was being born.
Yes. I always love the parallels. There's so many, and they're so beautiful.
Steppenwolf, there he is.
I cannot wait.
In the mother boxes.
I know. I wonder what they have Jesse Eisenberg sitting in right there. Is it like cranberries or like?
I say I don't know what it is, but officially it's afterbirth from the birth of Zod. Everybody's always like, "What is that crap?" It's the afterbirth, guys. It's the bloody fluid from the embryonic sac that he came out of. Lex has submerged himself in this, man. His hands are so red with blood, it ain't pretty.
Yep.
So yeah, he's officially Lex Luthor supervillain now, and the hair just emphasizes
Once
that.
again, you can blame the hair loss on Superman. Every time.
I remember listening to this track from the soundtrack for the first time and not even knowing that it's about Clark's death, and I just remember like imagining at the end of the battle like Batman and Superman standing together, and now it's like, damn, like I was wrong.
Lois was what it.
I think this is one of the best tracks right here. With it.
Yep. And look, I love this.
And there's the agriculture and commerce symbolism.
Yeah. Oh, now I see what you mean. Yeah.
And now they're in balance together.
Yep.
At a cost, though.
Oh, in the barber shop and how it's all still the old time, small town. God. And then how they compared it to the death of Kennedy. It's truly, it's a beautiful, beautiful montage. See, but look at that computer screensaver and how it switches to looking up through the buildings to the sky.
Yeah.
The whole view of the world is changing now because of him. And their view of him is changing, finally. He just had to kill himself to do it. Notice how Bruce parks in the back and comes in the back. Everybody else comes in through the front, and he parks comes in through the back because he's Bruce, and he just doesn't go with the crowd ever. And he's very, very much an alone type.
Mm-hmm.
I loved how they brought him back. That made me so happy, and they brought back his buddy, and he's not buddy, but you know what I mean.
I want to sound mean, but I feel like I'm the only one who wants all that food at the table.
Oh no, you're not the only one.
I'm starving right now.
Good, yep.
I just want to know how they cover up the gaping hole in his chest.
There has always been a sense that more people in Smallville knew about Clark than ever said anything, and so I do think that there were people helping to kind of keep it hushed because because they believed in him.
Now, Morgan, do you think like all the people there? Because I know Pete knew, the priest knew, a lot of people in Smallville knew.
And it's possible Lana Lang was there. We just didn't see her.
I think there was an actress who played Lana who was there. We just never officially saw her.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, because she was shown as a kid in Man of Steel.
Yes. And so you don't know how many know, but you get the sense that
I feel like everyone there knew.
Yeah, and it was even
except for the Daily Planet people, of course.
And Jenny looked at each other, and you don't really know if they know who he is, but that they, I don't know. It's hard to say. Oh, the ring! It always breaks me every time. See, in the Diamond Absolute, it comes right down to the Diamond.
Yes.
You guys. beautiful.
And I love the parallels
Of the
here
two
at
funerals.
beginning with
Yeah.
like the falling bullet shells, the funeral, the
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, and then they so it's like a parallel within a parallel. They parallel the two funerals together with the beginning and end funeral, and then the gun shells and everything else. Everything is parallel. There's parallels everywhere. Everybody gets.
And I loved seeing this shot in Suicide Squad too.
Oh, that made me so happy. I was like, thank you, thank you.
And then the guy selling the T-shirts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Hard to believe that was all CGI, pretty much, except for the people there.
Yep. Well, and look, like it's a small group of followers and all the corn standing at attention. This is truly Clark Kent, farm boy from the Midwest. It's such a beautiful thing.
And this funeral, the farmer's funeral, is going from right to left. The formation for the big funeral is going left to right.
Woman, you get me every time. That is awesome.
And the funerals mark a new beginning for Batman.
Yep.
Yeah, I love how they juxtapose the bagpipes with the cannon. I mean, that's just really cool. They're not going to shoot guns over Clark's funeral, but bagpipes, yeah, that's just great.
There we go. Yeah.
House of Bell.
I'm surprised they were able to get that symbol so well done.
They gave it to...
Even look at Carrie.
They're like his government parents, both of those two. They're like his little government parents,
Oh, the shells.
The shells.
Shell.
Yes, he's bringing back faster.
Rise again.
Hurry up!
Foreshadowing.
I know. Just hurry up, man. I can't wait anymore.
For thy dew
is
like the dew of the morning, and the earth shall give birth to her dead.
Foreshadowing.
Oh, perfect!
I love this little extra scene right here. Oh, I saw Jack's wife right there. Deborah.
Awesome.
Got my checkbook to pay the funeral director.
They said it's all taken care of.
By whom?
Anonymous donor.
See, I love how Pete and the priest come together to
I
kind
know,
of be
yeah.
her support because she really doesn't have anybody else besides, Lois, who was also suffering, so she needs help at home, and they came together to do that, and it was so perfect that they would. Oh, Bruce, you just can't possibly go with the crowd. That's okay. I love him that way. That's my social friend.
See, he was to the right a bit ago, but now they just showed him on the left, showing he's kind of getting empowered now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you're right. He's gonna start
that hope.
He's gonna start the movement over again and go from left to right,
Oh, the circus is back east, tearing empty bottles.
They don't know how to honor him, except as a soldier.
I failed in life. I won't fail in death. Help me find the others like you.
Perhaps they don't be found.
They will. And they'll fight. We have to stand together.
Ah.
I love how the score slowly builds up too.
Yep, and it's such a beautiful
Scene.
scene.
Years ago, I walked away from mankind. From a century of horrors. Man made a world where standing together is impossible.
You know what's funny? If she thought World War I was bad.
I know. Oh.
God, I love the score so much.
Fight.
And I love
With the
this. I love
voiceover.
this so much. How they bring it together
Yep.
and they bring it back. Okay, who here thinks that the water is there so that Aquaman has something to beat people up with in the Justice League film? 'Cause we know they're there.
And that's a good point. Definitely a good
I
point.
love all their candles. I love all the light that they've all lit. They all
And the mixture of police officers, officials, just general.
mixes of everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
look.
And I love that the police officers aren't like separate, forming a barrier.
No.
They're just mixed in with the
Oh
crowd.
gosh, you're right. They're all integrated. Oh, it's beautiful.
His
And now
monument.
his
look around
monument
you.
is just a symbol of hope.
Yep. It's perfect. And then if you seek his monument, it's perfect. It's so perfect. It just was the perfect way to end it and lead it in.
You know.
And then you really, oh my gosh, it really is Dawn of Justice. Okay, here's where Justice League is going.
And even seeing the stuff we've seen in the last couple of days, I'm just so excited for Justice League.
Oh, me too.
And I'm so glad Zack stayed on too, despite everything the critics put Zack through. That Zack stuck through it.
I am so proud of him for that. I honestly am.
Me too.
Say this one more time. The warden wants to speak to you, so stand to your
because he knows we love it, like the fans of the movie, we all love him. We want him to stick around, and he cares more about us than he does about
Turn around and face the wall.
He's got no power whatsoever.
Place your forehead against the wall.
You know his prisoner number, the AC-23-1940. That's his first appearance from Action Comics. That's
awesome.
Classic Batman.
I love how this shows like that Batman has connections.
Yep.
He got the warden to stand out there to bribe.
Well, isn't this supposed to be Bel Rev? Or am I wrong?
No, I'm pretty sure it's just either Gotham or Metropolis prison. It's one of the two.
Because he said Blackgate was in Gotham earlier, so this is something different.
Okay. I love the red light.
Like I said, I love his voice modulator too. Makes him even more terrifying.
Yes.
That was the one problem I had with Christian Bale's Batman 2 was his very scruffy voice.
I didn't mind that he did it himself. That didn't bother me so much. It did become really noticeable, but it was really cool. It made total sense. And of course, you just have a modulator do it. That makes way better sense.
Yeah. Because then you're not straining your voice.
I'm not even fit to stand trial.
Oh, Lex. Yeah.
I love how what Lex says here in a moment parallels what Jor-El said in the beginning of Man of Steel.
Yep.
Yes.
How he'll live among the stars. Oh, the god is dead. It's ringing among the stars.
God, you just look at the look on Lex's face as soon as he hears Arkham.
Yep. Suddenly it's not funny anymore.
The bell's already been rung, and they've heard it. But in the dark, among the stars.
Ding dong.
Yep.
Ding dong. The guy's dead.
Because of Oz reference.
So awesome.
Such a brilliant way to end the movie,
and it says so much. Yep, that he didn't brand him.
That he's forever changed because of Superman.
Yep.
He's found us.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Back to the ominous just use of pronouns and leaving most of the audience guessing.
Yep. You really could go both ways as to either Steppenwolf or Darkseid, or both.
Uh-huh. And here we have foreshadowing Justice League.
Yep.
I love that.
I love it. Oh, it's perfect. It's so, like, poetic, so artistic, so freaking beautiful. You know, it's just really cool. And look at him, he's leaving a graveyard for, like, the first time since he was a kid. He has been in that graveyard since his parents died.
Well, Jason.
And Lois.
If she had just stuck around a few more minutes, she could have seen the dirt move.
I don't think he's coming back instantly, though. You know, I think it's going to take a little bit of time, so... But it would have been a nice thing.
I swear to God, if they start playing his theme in Justice League and as soon as he emerges, I'm going to die.
I mean, they released 3 teasers for Justice League yesterday, so ideally they would...
I hope so. I can't go much longer. I need me some Superman.
Same.
You have no idea how delighted I was just to see him in that tiny little behind-the-scenes reel. Just those tiny little clips. It was like, oh, thank you, he's there. Yay! Superman! Bring back my Superman!
Oh, beautiful.
God, I love this movie. I can never, I always love this movie more and more the more I watch it.
Exactly. And it's been a year, and I'm starting to have flashbacks of, oh my gosh, at this point in time, you know, the sun was like this, and I was driving back and forth to watch that movie every chance I could, you know, the stuff was like this, and I was so obsessed, I just thought about it all the time. It just, I don't want to say life-changing, but it was life-changing. You know,
it really
just
was for me too.
Such a beautiful piece of work. It was like, I will forever defend these films. They're just, they're just beautiful, beautiful works of art.
Yeah, and I just can't wait to like just this year when we have Wonder Woman and Justice League as like a perfect like meld of like all these stories together and all these characters. I'm so happy that Zach's still on for or stayed on for Justice League, because like the DCEU would not be what it is without him. And I don't care what people say. I think he's very much so like the heart and soul of what these movies are.
I totally agree. I am very, very excited. It was just wonderful. And it just, so very important. Yeah. So I'm glad he's staying on, and I am here for Wonder Woman, so
me too.
I will be there with bells on. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining me throughout this entire 3-hour experience.
Worth it. All worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. As we celebrate, the 1-year anniversary of the movie, I wouldn't want to spend it any other way than watching the movie. That changed my life.
Same here. If I didn't have so many responsibilities, I'd write out a big, giant 5-page thing about why I love it so much. But this will have to do. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, Katie, for joining me. And it looks like Cassidy already left us. So
yeah. Bye, Cassidy. Good meeting you.
Yeah. No. All right. So yeah, thank you again, and I'll talk to you soon. And thank you, everyone who stuck around through this entire process and experience of watching this movie with us. Batman vs Superman is, I think, one of the best movies of the last 2 years in terms of what it did for the superhero genre, and just for us as fans. I can't imagine where my life would be without it, to be honest.
Same. Same.
Yeah, so I think with that being said, that's going to be it from us. So, yeah, thank you guys for sticking around, and until next time, have a good one.